Hey all, J-Man here. I just wanted to tell you about beardedshirts.com. It's a great place to get a lot of cool superhero shirts and other merchandise. You can scroll, they've always got sales on. As you can see, they've got these really cool print all over shirts, which I really love. That's Eddie, the founder of the site. And if you're looking for stuff, all you got to do is you click on the search here and you can type in all over. And that's going to show you the all over prints, which are really, really cool. Look at that. You got Legion of Superheroes, you got Brave and the Bold, you got JSA, you got Superman, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, all kinds of stuff. So check out beardedshirts.com. Hey guys, J-Man here. It's time to talk about He-Man and She-Ra, the Secret of the Sword. Okay, He-Man content coming to my channel. We did some mini comics already. I actually started. I pulled out my actual mini comics. We're gonna read them all tonight. No, we're not gonna do that tonight. So because I was doing some mini comic videos and I thought I haven't actually showed the actual mini comics, and I wanted to show that. So I'll start showing those maybe in a couple of videos from now because I filmed these like a few weeks in advance. So the first few mini comic videos are not going to have that. They're just going to have me sharing the screen because I actually bought the digital versions of all that stuff. So a lot to talk about. Obviously, we love He-Man. We're going to get into all of it. Tomorrow, big day, sad day, momentous day. The final episode of the Legion live stream, episode number 83. 83 weeks of Legion of Superheroes. We started this to, sort of connect with our friend Clobberin Times, who we lost in June of last year. We did this because he loved Legion of Superheroes, and he had no one to talk to about it who wanted to do a stream. And I said, well, how many comics is it? And he's like, well, it's probably like 300. I'm like, I'll read them. I'll read all 300. And let's do it. And we did. And Sean and I with Clobby did this for many weeks. But I think I'm wondering, maybe if Sean knows, I'm wondering if we've done now more without him than we've done with him. That's crazy. Or it's equal. That is crazy that we have done just as many without him as with him. So we're going to honor him tomorrow. We're going to finish off the Legion of Superheroes live stream. And then we're going to go on to Avengers. But that's all going to be tomorrow. Wednesday, more He-Man content, the art of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. This is a big, thick mega book. One of these like super murder weapon books. But the good thing is that I have it on Comixology. It's Kindle now. I keep forgetting it's Kindle. So we'll look at it digitally together. We can share the screen and we can look at it together. I'm not going to flip through all that. Sean has it too. We can both hold up our books and flip through it. He'll hold up one page, and I'll hold up the other, and it'll be like it's like the 2 pages. No, we're going to go through it digitally, so that's going to be a lot of fun on Wednesday. And then Friday, the final episode, a lot of finals this week, the final episode of Transformers Super God Master Force. We're going to look at the last 11 episodes of this awesome series. And it is just getting crazier and crazier at this point. I can't wait to talk about like Double Dealer and like the new wings, the dread wing and dread whatever. I don't know, whatever their names are. They've given up their human forms and then they're now pure robots. So that's going to be epic. So that's going to be on Friday. So lots coming this week. And then next week we're doing Dragon Slayer. Now this is per request from our friend RR. He wanted to do Dragon Slayer. So 1 week from today, we're going to be talking about Dragon Slayer. Now, this is an epic ass movie. We're going to talk about how awesome it is next Sunday. That's going to be great. Let's shout out the members. Speaking of RR, let's shout out our super friends. Dan, Sean, Steven, Brennan, Mark D, RR, Philip Story, S-Fon82, Digger Jim, Guagnar, Legion of Comics, and Just Joe. And of course, Clobberin Times. I think he was a little bit older. So we Ross, and I think Ross will take Clobby's place in this stream because Clobby, I don't think he was a big He-Man guy. He's about 10 years older than Sean and I. So he wouldn't have been into He-Man, but he definitely would have appreciated us talking about how awesome it is, because it is awesome. All right, let's bring the troops in. Hey,
The
two Conan shirts, and we're going to use the Conan intro because I don't have a He-Man. Do I have a He-Man thing? I only have a He-Man outro. I don't want to play that. We'll just use Conan for everybody today. That'll be fine. I don't want to play the Neil Breen thing because that's brutal. But we'll bring Charlie in. Me.
He. What's happening?
I actually made an intro for this channel based on He-Man, which I'll explain what it is in a second. Hold on, let me bring in Ross Orr. Skeletor running off.
I like that.
Let's say hello to FK. FK, give us a super chat.
He-Man.
Yeah, He-Man, yeah. I met the voice of Skeletor, who also did the voice of many other guys. FK with a super chat right away. Let's give him. Well, I should have got some He-Man stuff. But how about Wonder Woman dancing? That's all right.
There you go.
Sybil.
Yep.
And
one more time,
which I gotta get a better. Thank you. Or the backseater is here. What's going on, man? Backseater, what it is? Yes, it's a secret. It is a secret. Hey, skeptic, buddy, you missed Transformers. We did Transformers last week. We're doing another one this Friday. I literally said, Sean, I was like, we're doing it for Skeptic this Friday, and then you
didn't show up.
You didn't even do nothing. Skeptic didn't even do nothing.
Shenanigans.
Oh my god. What is going on here? He-Man and She-Ra, the Secret of the Sword. We're not going to do show and tell a lot because we would be here for 400 years. We'll talk about it for a bit, and then I'll show a few things. The only thing I have my childhood Battle Armor He-Man, whose thing is broken. My actual He-Man is lost to time. I don't know where he is. And this is not the original arm. This is Triclops' arm, because the original Battle Armor He-Man arm did not have painted arm gauntlets. But Triclops did. And because I lost He-Man's arm, it broke off. I had to replace it, and I used Triclops because I had an extra Triclops. So there you go. There's my Battle Armor He-Man. My name's Battle Armor J-Man. My logo is this logo, the J that gets punched. I made a J out of it. And I actually made that logo myself. I didn't copy it from something. I actually drew it out myself to match this.
What that is? That's what that is.
Yeah, it's Skeletor punching it. So watch. Where's you've seen it 4 million times, right?
Now it makes perfect sense.
Now it makes perfect sense. Where is it? Here you go. It's loud too. I made it loud. See, it's Skeletor's hand punching the crack or whatever. And I animated that myself. It took 4 million years. And I'm like, I'm never animating it. I animated Sean's thing because the only reason I did Sean, not because you're my friend, but the only reason I did yours, Sean, is that there was the program had built-in dissolves.
Yeah.
And one of them looked like it was a Transformer thing. So I just used your name, used the dissolve, and then added the sound effect. So I was like, cool, that's why I was able. And then Steve's, you can see Steve's is like stock footage where it's just that's just a stock footage transition, right?
Yeah.
But yours actually looks like it it does mean something. So I thought that was really neat.
Yeah.
I liked mine until it got deleted. It's fine.
Oh man,
I still have yours, but it's got the old logo. I got to say, your new logo is that was done by your tattoo artist, I believe, correct?
Yeah.
That logo is friggin'
She
awesome.
killed it. It's so much better than finding shit online and making your own.
It is. It's awesome. It is so awesome. So yes, I definitely like that one better. And if I don't have the program that animates it anymore, so that's my thing there. So I've got a few things which I'll show later on. I got a couple of really awesome things that are pretty damn neat. And I do have a blue bearded Stratos, which I'm not going to get out because he's like packed to hell. Yeah. So he's anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 depending on where you look online. So he's staying where he is in my safe place.
Something like him or Pink Boot Skeletor.
Or all these
little weird variants.
Weird variants.
Yep.
All right. Well, we'll look at so Charlie, you sent me some pictures.
I can't turn my computer, and everything I have is hanging. So I sent J-Man a picture of my wall that's in my office.
We can take a look at that, and then I'll show you my my losery kid picture. Where's my share screen window? Charlie's. So there's Charlie's wall, which is behind on the other side, which you can't see. But
yeah, it's all right over here, and that's what's in package still. I had a bunch I started opening because I'm like, I'm not going to collect them all. I'll open them, and then I went, fuck, I don't want to collect them all.
Yeah, I kind of did the same thing. So I have a bunch that are open.
Yeah,
I don't. There's a few I don't have that you have. I have the generic guys.
Yeah, I was originally going to do that, but then I was like, well, I want the ones Mom and Dad couldn't buy me, and all my DVDs sitting there are sitting on top of Castle Grayskull and Snake Mountain. Squeeze is back there, and then I have a bunch that are boxed up. I have every vehicle they've released for Origins. The only OGs I still have that are out, I've got a Snout Spout hanging up, and I've got Drag Store floating around on a shelf above me somewhere.
I have so I this is my like bag of like originals, but a lot of them are beat up. But like I have just remove that for a second.
Are these like the actual playground used versions?
Yeah, like my played around
buzz off. Hell yeah. No
like
wing.
see like my spike or leg off.
Yep.
I like those.
This so this guy made the rounds, Whiplash. So I had Whiplash, and I traded him. I traded him for a character to this kid, and then the kid gave me a faulty toy that broke like immediately. Like I brought it home and it just fell apart. I was like, it's like the kid kind of just glued it quickly together to. Yeah. And then I went back. I was like, yeah, we're trading back like right now. Yeah. And I've got 3 guys with me that are insisting that we trade back. And I remember I was in a Croatian neighborhood, and we went to this guy's name was Ivica, and I went to Ivica, and he was like, "Tell us, like Ivica, let me explain what happened." And he's like, "Yeah, that sounds like a bunch of bullshit." I said, "It is bullshit." He's like, "We're getting that back." Went right back, knocked on the door. We're trading back, so I got Whiplash back that way. This is the actual one that traded back and forth. One of my better conditioned ones was Cyclone. He's like pretty good. I mean, I have like
underrated.
And then I'll show you this. You want to see? Okay, so this is where these kids we started to try to paint. Look, I tried to make Captain America. I tried to make
actually pretty decent. I got to give you some credit there.
So like it was pretty. So I made Captain America.
You were doing the mashups before they even started doing it, like all the wrestlers I've got that are like He-Man figures.
And then stupid, my buddy Vic, who did give me his Stratos, Vic spilt yellow paint on. I was like, oh, dude. So that guy got ruined. And then here's what we did.
You took his shield and painted Captain America's shield with him, though, because that seems like a missed opportunity if you did.
That is a missed opportunity. I got another funny. Okay, so we had a so my Triclops, I had a second Triclops. One of them busted. His arm actually like broke off.
Oh, broke the nub. Yep.
Right. So I turned him into a Cenobite. He's got like a
you got a screw in his leg.
I got a screw in his leg. He's got wire coming out of his face.
Oh my god.
So I turned him into a Cenobite.
The techno god there. Kevin Smith did to him.
Oh, what other funny one? I mean, we could go, I've got like endless stories here. Oh yeah. Okay. Had an extra buzz off. We tried to make him Nightcrawler. This did not come out as good.
I don't know. On camera, it don't look that bad, brother.
Pretty good.
I'm actually pretty impressed with your Nightcrawler. Why not start with Web Store though? He would have already been blue, and then you just added the highlights.
I do have Web. Oh, I do have this Childhood.
Hordak. Actually, that's a pricey figure if you've got one that's not. It's
$100 a piece.
Yeah,
you know, it's busted up though. Yeah. Like
I have mine, but I broke the tab at the bottom, so he'll sit together if you just hold him, but the exploding part doesn't work.
This didn't turn out. Tried to do Venom. That did not turn out very good. And actually, it was Black Suit Spider-Man because I don't think Venom was out when I did this. Here's my original Man at Arms is in good condition, but he's naked. So
I don't know any armor that lasted with a kid with Man at Arms.
No,
He had like
no.
the knee part, the arm part, his chest. I would have done Skeletor as Red Skull though. Just saying.
Yeah, that's a
I'm
good.
doing
That's
Captain America. I'm making a Red Skull Skeletor.
my original Fisto. And then this, Sean, who this is not a He-Man toy. What is this from?
Sectars?
That's
Oh,
a
maybe-
Sectar.
okay, that must be because I have Sectars, but I don't think
If it's a segmented, it's not showing on camera. If it's a segmented blade, then it's Sectars. Prince Dargon.
Roboto. Nice.
Yeah, I mean, like we'll be here all day. These are just my beat up
This is
ones.
exactly why I didn't bring all my shit out.
Yeah,
I
they're
have it on
Yeah.
the wall.
childhood antenna.
Montana. That was always a favorite.
Yeah.
It
Anyways,
never bugged me. He didn't look like he did in the cartoon with all of his legs splayed out. Like
Which
I,
we'll talk about.
I understood it as a kid. Like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, they can't make him looking like that.
No.
There,
Well, they can't package him looking like that.
there's me, chubby Jason, April 1986, Hall of Fame, wearing a Masters of the Universe shirt.
Sick though, man. I like the Battle Cat.
Battle Cat. Look,
Yeah.
look how fat I was. That's terrible. That's absolutely that's terrible. That's your Croatian cooking right there.
I'm not fat. I'm big boned.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so He-Man, She-Ra, the Secret of the Sword. This is the first appearance, I guess, of She-Ra. First appearance of Adora, She-Ra, Bo, all of those guys. I'm pretty sure. Like, I can't. Did this come in the theater? Because I think I saw it in
Yeah,
the
it did.
theater.
I saw it in the theater.
It's said,
According to
but I think
Wikipedia,
Oh, yeah.
it did come out. It's 3 episodes that they knitted together and released theatrically.
I thought it
Yeah.
was 5 episodes of the original.
I think it might.
Sure.
Yeah, it feels like it's a lot of episodes. I think it's 5.
It came out March of 1985. I saw it at the Scarpetown Center. So
Yeah, so I saw it in the theater as well. Slade is here. You saw it in the theater too. Nice, buddy. Awesome. Yeah, so like we saw it in the theater, and I thought it was awesome. I watched it again. I love the song in the beginning, although it makes it seem like they're boyfriend and girlfriend rather because it's like our hearts will sew on to each other. I'm like, why is that happening if you're just brother and sister? But they
Why
really,
not
siblings,
both?
you know?
It works for Star Wars.
yeah, they do love each other. Yes, that's true. They do love each other.
Hey, now,
But
how many times have you seen this all together? Would you say, like as a
Oh,
kid, and then maybe
I
like
have no
probably
idea.
trail off?
dozens of times.
like I don't know how
Yeah.
you. Yeah, I can't even.
Well, like how
And
many
I've
times
watched
have you seen
the
it as a kid?
5-parter as well, which is longer.
Yeah, they edited
many
it
times.
for the movie, didn't they?
Yeah.
The episodes are actually, it's almost like 2 hours if you watch all the episodes together.
Right.
I think it's tacked on, and it's tacked on. Is it tacked on to She-Ra, or it's tacked on to? It's the first She-Ra
It's
episode.
She-Ra. It's the first
The
She-Ra
first She-Ra
one.
episode.
episodes. Yeah. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
to me,
didn't get
all
to see it because it was a limited release, and plus I was like 5. My parents weren't going to spend money to
mhm.
take me to the theater to watch. They're like, he'll see it on television. So it was way later. I mean, we didn't even have a VCR at that time, so it was probably like when I was like 8 or 9 before I could rent it. So I probably saw the episodes
I
and
see.
then got to watch the movie.
I don't think- Did they ever bring it out? I can try and get some of these later. Can you? That is all VHS tapes of He-Man. I don't know if that ever came out properly. Yeah, what's that,
It's the
Sean?
movie.
Oh, that's just the
That's She-Ra, and it has the movie with it.
yeah.
That's one.
Oh, cool. I dig it.
Well,
And
what
then
is
the
that?
other disc is best of. So yeah.
Best of, but I actually have the best of separately and the movie separately and that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So there's actually like another edition. Yes,
Secret of the Sword. That's what it's
Secret of the Sword.
Is
Yeah.
that-
So I've got that. Plus I've got another DVD which is just Secret of the Sword, which is just disc 1, and then I've got another one which is just disc 2 and that one.
Is that just DVD, Sean, or is that Blu-ray?
Yes,
That DVD.
but it's pretty cool. Like it's got
Yeah.
extra stuff in it, like booklets and things.
No, I dig that. That's awesome.
Little booklet.
Yeah.
I think there's art cards in here too. Yeah, there are.
Yeah.
Don't bend the spines.
Oh, whatever, man. Here you go.
Oh,
Yeah, so it was actually
updated
Scorpion.
artwork.
So it was actually supposed to be Catra. Catra was supposed to be like the main villain for all of that stuff, and then they made up Hordak and everybody, because Hordak and those guys came out with they're He-Man. They're under the MOTU banner, not under the She-Ra banner.
Their toys came out before She-Ra did, so they were listed as He-Man.
He-Man toys, yeah.
Right.
Universe.
Yeah, so not She-Ra toys.
Hordak is technically like under the She-Ra umbrella, right? Then
in the cartoons, he is.
They retconned it because they felt like they needed a stronger villain, and I think they also realized that maybe they needed something to get the boys to watch their sister's cartoon. So put it, because honestly, I think I love Skeletor, but damn, Hordak's fucking awesome, man. I mean, just the creation of the Horde, they were the Fright Zone, all that stuff. Like as a kid watching this, I was like, yeah, I don't care if it's a chick show. I'm like, this is awesome. I'm loving this.
Hordak is badass, man.
Yeah.
But I love like the format of this movie. We're not going to rate this movie because we're going to give it 10, and then this guy's going to not give it 10. So there's no point in rating it.
I'll rate your reviews instead of the movie itself.
There's not going to be the BCI Eclipse. Yeah, those are.
Yeah, I don't want to
that's what this is.
Diminish the ratio for you guys.
Right. Yeah, I can't go out and I can't bring that entire shelf is He-Man stuff. That is He-Man classics, but then I have a closet, a sliding door closet, where from the bottom to the very, very top, where you cannot even fit anything else in, is full He-Man. Like, you can't open the other door. The other door is stuck, so you can only slide it one way.
Yep.
And the entire thing is He-Man full. Like, you can't do anything. Like, you can't. So the mini comics, I can't even, like, these are shoved in, like, sideways, like at the top or whatever.
Perfect.
I pulled this
square.
It's like a perfect square.
In there.
Yeah,
I threw this out because
I can do that with Micronauts. So for me, it's like same language, different dialect. So
yeah,
there's
I love that golf, man. That is awesome.
Yeah.
This is not the real one. The real one is, of course, safely in a sleeve. This is a printed one that I just mounted. So that's good too. Okay, Ross. Let's see.
This is my one of two He-Man.
Okay, that's all right.
Signed by the director.
Gary Goddard. That's cool.
He was actually signing Captain Power. He was a Captain Power little mini.
We gotta do a Captain Power stream, Sean.
Yeah.
So
that Captain Power is my jam, and this is my favorite He-Man thing. A, because of Dolph, and B, because of Gary Goddard, and C, because of William Stout's production.
What about so Charlie and I and Sean, we all have the super umbrella edition.
So they got the umbrella with the booklet.
I didn't go that far. And then I have this is the superior.
Yeah, we all have the Blu-ray too.
Yep.
So for those, for some reason, I didn't have the money or something. For the first time in 100 years or ever, they released action figures. They did just those three.
Yes.
I got Thundar and Ookla, and I don't remember the girl's name now for some reason. I lost it.
Oh, there was a Princess Ariel, all right.
Yeah, there was, but I didn't get her. And I had the opportunity to get her, and I didn't get her, and I don't know why. Super friend Just Joe is here. Thanks, buddy. We're gonna do a Captain Power stream, and we're definitely gonna do hardware because I just rewatched it again. And
I haven't seen it since it was in the theater.
Have you seen Hardware, Ross?
Yeah, I saw I saw it in the theater before it came out that it was like stolen from 2000 AD. I don't even think I was reading 2000 AD at that time.
Yeah, they acknowledge it. So it wasn't like a big covert operation or something.
No. They had to sue them to get them to admit it. There was like a.
Well, I'm saying they're admitting it now. Yeah. I have all three of those. Oh, nice. I didn't get Ariel. I don't know.
So is this going to be like more than 1,000 views because it's He-Man as opposed to the usual few hundred we get?
No. We'll get more for He-Man. Yeah, but I want to. So where's my new tab? All right, so let's go He-Man and She-Ra. The Secret of the Sword. Okay, so so you start out now. This introduces the Adora. If I was to do a movie right now, not the garbage that they're doing. Hey, Mohammed, what's going on, man? Thanks for coming in. Kitty Pryde first appearance. Okay, I've got Kitty Pryde's first appearance, baby. Whoosh, it's in that glass case over there. So reading Dazzler, got first appearance of Dazzler too. Read Journey into Mystery. I don't have Journey into Mystery #1 or the first appearance of Thor in Journey into Mystery. That would be pretty good. I do have the first appearance of He-Man in a comic book, which is DC Presents. I do have that. I should have brought that out. Is that at my feet? It is at my feet. I can bring that out later. So I do have that though, and I do have Masters of the Universe #1. Was that the first? Hold on, DC Comics.
There's a DC one. There's a Marvel one later.
Yeah,
with
Presents. Which is the He-Man one?
I have all of the current Marvel. Or is it Marvel that's doing it now? Who's doing?
Yeah, no, I don't know who's doing it now. So I have this. Sean was there when I bought this.
That's a good one. I like that one.
So that's the first. Masters of the Universe comic #1. Let me see what it looks like. No, I have this one. DC.
I have that second one. That's the one. So it's still DC doing.
What the hell is this?
Nah, the next one over from.
I don't have that one. Oh, you have this one.
That's the Marvel one. Star.
That's DC.
Yeah.
I have almost every issue of that. I've been keeping up with that.
Oh, this one? Yeah.
Yeah.
I might have this. I have this one, which just came out super recently, like last year.
Yeah, that's where they jumped to the Masterverse.
I don't like it. I don't like that one. So I stopped getting it. But it's as simple as that. I don't know. I couldn't ask like I got actually I lied. I got the first couple. And I thought, all right. So if I was doing a movie now, I would have the first scene be a dream of not showing Hordak properly because you want to cast him and stuff, but having him steal the babies or something, and have it set up that they rescue Adam and then Adora is taken. It's like, oh no, and then have the whole Keldor thing and just say that Keldor was sort of like secretly working with Hordak, you know what I mean, like, and learning the dark arts and stuff, and mesh that together. And I would do like I really like Superman 1 and 2 the way. Obviously, I love those movies. I'm not saying I love the movies. I'm saying I love the way that the first 15 minutes of Superman 1 doesn't get addressed until Superman 2, where it's almost like one, you could push them together as like a 5-hour movie or whatever, right? Like you could make them one 5-hour movie. That's what I would want with He-Man. The first little bit, just to sprinkle Adora, she's been taken, what happened? Unknown. We'll address that in the next movie. First movie, full on Skeletor bad guy. Big battles, He-Man's Prince Adam. I would use the younger. I wouldn't have the same actor play He-Man and Adam. I would do the 2000X, making him a younger guy. So that way, Adora's only been missing for whatever years instead of however old he is, like whatever it is, right?
14 years or something.
Sure, whatever, right? And then He-Man's at, and then fight Skeletor. Skeletor's defeated, blah, blah, blah. And then the teaser would be for part 2, which would be going into Etheria with Hordak. And then part 2 would be like a She-Ra movie, kind of. And it would be this movie with a few She-Ra elements. So same kind of thing. Like the first movie would be the 2000X, a little bit of this, and then your main component would be the He-Man stuff. But some of the 2000X story ideas with the format of this show, like you gotta mix it up. Like I think Transformers 1 did a great job, which is like they took the best little elements from whatever they could find and put it together. And I would do that with He-Man because you definitely need Adora. You gotta have Keldor because that's just like so in there now, and it's kind of neat too. But then the rest of it has to be this classic He-Man. It has to be He-Man getting the Masters. They go into battles. They're all unique characters. It can't just be like, I'm doing whatever. I like the movie, but like, I mean, look, there's no Orko. That's weird. No matter what anyone says, it's like a few things are missing. There's no Battle Cat. You're like, well, how can there not be Battle Cat?
You need more of the Masters of the Universe. You need more of, not a ton. You don't need everyone, but you need some of your core characters with He-Man as you introduce She-Ra's new group. So you need that. More than just He-Man passing the torch, you need several of them kind of passing it on and another battle happening. But
So,
again, this was never intended to be a movie, though. So you got to keep in mind that this was just going to be a TV show,
right?
And then they were like, we can make more money here. Let's put it in theaters. A little bit of snip cut here, there, boom, there we go. Hour 40 minutes. We got a movie.
I like the format of this because they come in. Hey, Purist is here. What's going on, dude? Guys, make sure you subscribe to Star Wars Marvel Purist. The link to his channel is in all of my videos. I'll put it up in the chat for you guys. I'm hoping that he's going to find the time to come join Sean and I for at least a few of our Star Wars comics, which is going to be in May. May 25th is the real Star Wars Day, not the 4th. But anyways,
thank you,
Ross. Oh, thank God. I was gonna say, if someone sends me a May the 4th be with you, I'm going to punch their head off.
I'm sending you 5.
And Charlie is going to send it, but he's doing it to be funny.
I am, yeah.
I can't stand this May the 4th thing. It makes me barf. And people at my job are like, "Oh, Jay likes Star Wars. Let's do this." It's like, no. I said, if you know, and there's one guy at my place who's like, no, I know Jay likes Star Wars. That's why I'm not sending it. What do you mean? He's like, because he doesn't like this thing. He goes, I'll send it on the 25th when it's the real damn day. Anyway. Yeah, okay. I like this format. Starts off with Sorceress. There's a sword. Take it. He goes into Etheria, joins up with their people, some fighting. They go back, and then they go back. This is awesome. Like, I know it was a TV show, but they really planned it out way better. Like, again, it's just for kids. It's just to sell toys. Well, why is it planned better than the last 10 years of Marvel or whatever?
You're right. I mean, you're looking at this is supposed to be just a giant toy commercial, but this story is compelling. It's well written. It's well paced.
It is well paced.
Even if it was a show, it's a well paced show. It would have kept me going. Shit, I can't wait till next Saturday. Wait, come on. Let's just get through the school week. Let me get Saturday night for episode 2. That's how I would be.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, She-Ra was created by Lou Scheimer, really. I mean, Filmation took it to Mattel and said, what about this idea? And they ran with it. So they conceived it as a story. And that 5-part thing does introduce each character. Like, even Angela, is introduced 3 or 4
Angela is cool too, man. Yeah. Glimmer's awesome. I don't know. It's perfectly paced, as you're saying. You could tell, when you're watching it as a movie, and Ross, you've only seen this in this form. You could tell now that it's 5 parts or whatever it was. You can tell, that's probably where this one ended.
The Beast Island part, the Harpies part,
right? And you're like, okay, that's gonna lead it.
A lot of stuff is different.
You're just waiting for the kids. This week on He-Man, we learned this important lesson. That's what is
with Loki. Loki is. Did you find me this time?
Yeah. I found you. It's like, I found you, Loki. It's you didn't trick me. Go away. Yeah. Cowl is great, but hey, Cheo, what's going on, dude? Hey, man, I haven't seen you for a while.
Hey, Cheo.
That's our good buddy who reading. You're still reading your Hulks. So I mean, and again, I have to. We pointed this out on another stream with talking about Reacher with the female characters. This is She-Ra. We're all boys. He-Man's He-Man. He's the best guy ever, and we all love She-Ra. There is not one person that thought She-Ra was lame. Right. Everyone liked her. Yeah. It's I was disappointed that the She-Ra toy didn't come out in the Masters banner, because I felt weird buying a She-Ra toy with the packaging that it had. I would have had the She-Ra toy been in the Masters packaging, like a Tila or Evelyn, I'd be all over. And we had Tila. I kind of started to. I was going to do a video on this, and I just didn't do it because I don't want to to get out of hand. But we're young boys. And we like the boys' toys. Boys like their toys. We want our vehicles and our big, and He-Man's punching guys and G.I. Joe's shooting missiles and Transformers as robots and cars. But we all love She-Ra. I don't know any kid that was my age boy who didn't like She-Ra. He's like, no, she's pretty badass. And Hordak, great idea. Great. Charlie, as you said, throw Hordak on there. that got me in because I was like, oh man, Hordak is badass. Leech is badass, man. I even like Mantenna, who was like the goofy guy, but he looked cool. The Horde troopers were.
I mean, every one of them had a way to kind of fight He-Man.
Yeah.
So it was, I luckily I had a sister, so she got the Princess of Power figures. So she got She-Ra, Swift Wind, but I had Hordak. So if she wanted to play She-Ra or anything, she had to. Can we play, He-Man? So she would then be able to reenact her cartoon and have her adventures with Hordak and everything else. So it's brilliant how it meshed. But I do agree with you, even though I kind of like what you'd have a problem selling the girls on the packaging of Mojo.
Correct.
If you didn't do the Princess of Power, because Princess of Power was next to My Little Pony, was next to Strawberry Shortcake.
Yeah.
All the girls are sitting there looking at that, And as a boy, and this is the one time it got me, I kind of wanted Bo, but I didn't want to buy him in the package.
I had Bo anyways.
Bo wasn't He-Man size.
Yeah, Bo wasn't He-Man. He was thinner than He-Man.
Yeah.
So, he didn't quite fit, but in the cartoon, I liked Bo. Dude, I was never allowed to have that figure. Never.
He does. He smells a little bit. This is my childhood. Yeah. And he's been the reason these are all in this garbage bag is that I have all these in better condition now from going to toy shows.
Yeah.
But
patchouli oil.
He does.
Does he smell like patchouli?
He does. Oh my God, he still smells.
They put on it.
Wow. I love Stinkor. I was addicted to Stinkor's smell, and also the pine smell of
Mothman.
Mothman, yeah.
If you pop, I don't know how brittle he is, but if you pop off his arm, I bet you can smell it in the
thing. I'm not popping off.
That lost has been opened up, and it was protected. It has the biggest miss on Origins is not that he's putting a scratch and sniff sticker in Stinkor to make him smell like it. Like I get not doing it on the figure,
right?
My mom banned. I was never allowed Stinkor or anything that had slime. Never had those as a kid, so I never got Slime Pit. Yeah.
Oh, I had Slime Pit. I slimed Skeletor. I slimed Battle Armor Skeletor. Ruined the mechanism. That was a stupid first character I slimed. I was like, oh no!
It was him or Mossman, and both were going to get messed up. There was just no way around it.
Yeah.
Where's my childhood? My childhood Thunder Punch He-Man is still.
Ooh. He's got some snap to him.
Yeah. The Masters of the Universe just went up a notch in my estimation. Because patchouli is like the official smell of hippies. And if they're teaching you that's the Stinkor smell, then that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Mossman's dead.
Just dip him in some Pine Sol. He'll come right back, brother. That's all you got to do with
I'm gonna keep my Stinkor out. Man, Stinkor's the best. He's just merman.
My brother-in-law got 3 Stinkors for Christmas one time, and he opened all 3 of them up. Yeah, he's not going to take 2 back or whatever, and his room stank like that for weeks. So.
Isn't Stinkor one of the rarer ones now, or?
If you could, he's more rare if he has the smell still. Yeah.
Yeah, but his hand is off. Like I don't know what happened, but like it bent and it was like flappy, so I cut it off. Go get and I don't have his armor, but I have, and then all the springs are broken. I used to hold them here, and go like this, and I could just twist my wrist and make them like punch each other.
Momentum.
Punching.
Yeah, I don't know if I have any that works.
Dude, I love to take 2 bad and pull both arms and double punch whoever I would put in front of them. Hordak can do it.
Kind of, yeah, not as good. This Hordak is shitty because he got paint all over him. So it looks like blood splatter now. So it's like I made my own blood splatter.
I had battle damaged characters, man. There were so many G.I. Joe's body parts in the yard with blood. It's He-Man. If I broke a leg band, we didn't fix them. They were just an amputee for the rest of the time.
Well, G.I. Joe, I remember when my grandfather, we'll do a G.I. Joe thing. My grandfather what we went to the shop and he got the O's, he got the O-rings.
Yeah, the O-rings.
And he's like, he goes, I can fix this. And he fixed one. I was like, what? And then like our minds were unlocked. Wait a minute, I could put different legs on. And then we went and guys, bring all your Joes. Barbecue and Beachhead merged to become one. It was like Tuvix and Voy. Oh, you guys don't watch Voyager.
I'm in a G.I. Joe group, and the funnest thing we have is someone will go, I don't recognize this figure, and we're all like dissecting all of the little parts because someone built one out of broken, and you're like, well, no, that's Frostbite's leg, and then that's Snake, you know, and they'll like camo ones are the hardest because you're like, okay, who had the knife molded, who had the pouch molded,
right? Yeah.
Leech, dude, I love Leech. So many suction cup stains on the window. Right on there. I
suction cupped this. I would put it to my face and like really, and then he would like suck up your cheek and he'd be like, he's attacking me.
I don't know when the suction cup was invented, but like in the 80s, everything was suction cups.
Oh, dude. We had Garfield hanging off our windows.
Yeah.
We had Leech.
Yeah. You know who I still have them. I had Michelangelo, a big Ninja Turtle Michelangelo, a huge one, suction cup. I was like, yeah, this is so
There
good.
was a cereal toy that was like double suction cups. You would just throw it and, try to.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Doc Ock had them as well. I had that
Doc Ock had them. There was a Spider-Man that had them too that you would.
Yeah, I had that Spider-Man. But one was on his knee and it was so weird. It's like, it was just weird.
I remember that one. Yeah.
The Sky. Sean, I think I gave Sean my Sky Commanders.
Yeah, I have.
I give those too?
I had a couple of those. What I love about the Origins Leech is they gave us both heads. So you get the action figure head, but you get the cartoon.
Yeah, see there.
You see in the She-Ra, that head. That's in this cartoon. And I love that. I love that they gave me both options.
That's why I didn't recognize him.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's the poster.
That was kind of messed up to get that big suction cup head thing in the cartoon.
But that also showed you that the toy came out before the show did. So they were like, well, let's take him, but we got to change him because otherwise he's going to look stupid running around chasing.
I don't know about stupid. I think it might look a little obscene.
A little bit of that too, especially when he's like, I'm going to absorb your power.
Yeah.
What is going on here?
You guys, is this before or after your time? There was like an alien. There was like this rubbery alien that had suction cups all over him, and you throw him against a wall, and he kind of like flip-flopped his. I mean, he was supposed to flip-flop his way down, but it really didn't work that way.
He just fell down.
Yeah.
You used to get the octopus that was sticky, and it would roll down the wall.
Right.
I love Extendar. That's the only Origin I haven't got yet, but I got
his shield opened.
I love playing with him, man. He was he was like Mecha-Neck, but did more shit. It's like, his legs come out, his arms come out, head pops up.
I love Mecha-Neck. My friend Andy gave me his Mecha-Neck. So when I looked up that picture, I messaged my mom because she has all these photos. I said, Mom, I need my Hall of Fame picture where I'm wearing the He-Man shirt. Like, it's like 1 minute set. And then my mom's like, okay, first of all, then it sparked a long conversation on text. She's like, first of all, how do you remember this? I said, I remember. And she's like, how do you remember this? And she's like, how did I find this so quickly? She's patting herself on the back. She's like, I found this 1 minute.
Bravo, Mom. Bravo.
Your 5-year-old brain didn't have anything else in it except He-Man. So of course
that's all that's all the room I had in my brain. I wonder if the time is on here. No, it doesn't show the time yet.
Well, while you're looking at, so as someone who did not grow up with this and was never a fan, this is an observation, not a criticism. But it's like the names, like so like in the Micronauts, it's that they did that 70s sci-fi thing where like if we add Tron to the end of the name, that makes it sci-fi. So we got like Biotron and Microtron, Gammatron and all that stuff. So like this one, it's kind of almost like that and that goes back to the old-timey Flash Gordon where they say if they put O at the end of the name, it's like we've got the Destructo Beam and the Atomo Ray and all this other kind of stuff. So like for this, it was like they'd add A or
Or man.
or just man. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
Ram Man, Merman,
Yeah.
Beast Man.
So Ross, so the original idea of this.
Mhm.
Okay, Barbie is the king of everything. Like Barbie's
Right.
the queen, whatever. She's on top forever. She's never
Right.
going away.
right.
Right.
So their idea was He-Man would be a guy that would wear different armors and then be that person. So it's always going to be the He-Man toy, and then now he's Man at Arms or whatever because now he has this armor, and now he's Tank He-Man.
Right.
Or whatever. So then they're like, well, hold on a second, we could do this a bit more better and have Man at Arms be his own guy and have these, you can see. Yeah. And we'll discuss that on Wednesday when we look through the concept or through the vintage art books and stuff. But
they did one, and it was classics, and I think they did it again later. Vicron is that concept because he had like a battle mode, regular mode, but he was one figure.
They put these like retro sci-fi and fantasy.
That's Vicor. What was that one called again?
Vicron. V-Y.
Oh, yes. This is it.
That's him.
I have this. Yeah.
That was the original concept.
This is it right here.
But they went ahead and made it individuals, but they finally released us as a toy in classics. But that was the kind of the idea. You would be able to switch them around one figure.
Yeah. So you can see one's a Boba Fett mask. Like they've just kind of took whatever. This is literally Boba Fett mask.
Well, you got Conan, obviously, and you got G.I. Joe, and you got Star Wars. It's all three genres of what boys like is right there in one figure is what they're going for.
Yeah, and you could see how that became the show because it's not really fantasy, it's not really sci-fi. It's not even it's actually it's not even science fantasy because it's fantasy first with
science in it. You know, like they're using computers and vehicles, and it's this amalgam that just worked in the 80s. You know, we ate it up.
Oh yeah,
it's my favorite thing because it was everything. Like it felt like Flash Gordon mixed with like a little bit of Star Wars mixed with like it had military aspects because there's warriors and guards and stuff too, but it had fantasy, so swords and skulls and castles and magic, and then you had tech guys. So it was so cool. And then I love that Hordak is your tech guy fighting She-Ra. Yeah. And Skeletor is your magic guy fighting He-Man. And what I actually I have Dragstore. There he is. Yeah. Awesome.
Still got his ripcord in him.
Yeah, that is great. Unbroken. He's a cool toy.
Yeah.
He does work too. And that's the cool thing about it. So it's all these things mixed in. So everything makes sense. Anybody can make sense. And actually what I was thinking was if I was going to do it, instead of having two power swords, I like the idea of He-Man having the power sword and her having just the crystal. And as a kid, you know, it's like the crystal, she can put the crystal in a sword to use it or whatever. But then I like the idea that She-Ra has a vulnerability to technology and He-Man has a vulnerability to magic. And that's why they're fighting Hordak and Skeletor. They're fighting the guy that they're. So if they ever swapped villains, there'd be, you know, it would be easier. Trouble. If they have they would have less trouble if they swapped, but they have more trouble if they don't, which is why they don't swap. But like even looking at, and I don't know if, I mean, this could be interesting. We can take a look at just the first one since I've already kind of covered this anyways. If you guys want to see, and then we'll talk specifically this movie because we haven't really talked specifically exactly this movie, but I'll show you guys. What the hell did I do there? That was weird. Okay, here we go. Hold on. Remove. And this one. So this is the first mini comic that came out, and this is for Ross's benefit. So it's a mini comic, but it's really just a storybook. So this is the first one that came out. And you can see, look, He-Man is a savage guy. He's more like Tarzan.
Yeah.
Oh, did we lose Ross? Are you there, Ross?
No, he's just got his video off.
I don't know, but I don't know if that means we lost him. But anyway. But yeah, you could see that he's like a savage He-Man, and then he saves this is supposed to be the sorceress, not Tila, but they're calling her the goddess now, you know, whatever.
Yep.
Fights this monster, and they fight it together. and then she gives him this equipment which gives him his powers. That's completely different than I have the power and the Grayskull energy goes in him. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I have the powers magical. Like for a kid, it's like you feel like I actually bought I had the Skeletor costume, and my cousin had She-Ra stuff, so we would play He-Man and She-Ra, except I would be Skeletor and she would be She-Ra. And that's what I think one of the brilliant things in this movie is they made it so that She-Ra could fight Skeletor, or Hordak, He-Man can fight both. Like mixing them together is brilliant. Because any play pattern, like kids, like I'm sorry, I'm going to destroy people's illusions here. Boys and girls, firstly, are different, and they have different play patterns. And Mattel understands this, and they understand how to market it. He-Man was at $6 billion or something, like I can't remember what its best year was.
Yeah.
But
one year made $6 billion.
$6 billion, Sean, was that the best year?
Yeah, it's in economics textbooks because it's so strange that it made so much and then fell off. And that created the whole stereotype that these franchises only have 3 years.
Yes.
And TMNT broke that mold because they took all these ideas and then learned the lessons from them and stretched it out for 9 years.
Right.
So, yeah.
So Ross, did you hear that? The He-Man was $6 billion at its best year, which is like its second or third, probably second year.
I can, when I go off camera, I can totally hear you. It's just I don't want you to see me going up to go to the bathroom.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, and I was showing you I was showing you the comic, to give you an idea of what it looked like. So first it was a toy and a mini comic, and the mini comic. What happened? Why is it gone? Ugh, give me a break here. There we go. You could see he's like a savage. He's a savage He-Man. It's not the I have the power. See, he leaves his village and he's like a Tarzan guy. And then he's just fighting these monsters.
He's like Yor.
He's Yor.
Yeah,
this is
very
Yor.
much like Yor. Yes.
It's very much Yor. This is the actual Yor beginning.
Yeah.
And then this goddess gives him his equipment. So this is the sorceress, but with Teela's arm. So this is actually Teela's toy, but Teela in the cartoon looks more like what she looks like in this comic, but not in the toys. It's just like all of this stuff. The first year is a mess. Transformers is a disastrous mess. Everyone is named something differently. Nobody knows who. No, even now, Rumble, Frenzy, which one is which? Nobody knows. It's like and like they recolored everybody. So like there's like 2 Bumblebees and 2 Cliff Jumpers, even though Cliff Jumper is red and Bumblebee is yellow, but there's alternate colors of each of them. So you can have Bumblebee red and you're like, oh, that's just Cliff Jumper. No, because Cliff Jumper is technically a different head and different car.
Yep.
So he's not the same, but there are other colors of him, and that's just a mess too. So anyways, but like,
because at the time it was a toy and a cartoon.
Right.
Kids don't give a shit. So and now we're dissecting them 40, 50 years later.
So the original Megatron was released as a Microman toy, which was the cousin to the Micronauts.
Yeah.
And if you've ever seen one, the little targets that come with it are Microman figures.
Yeah, we have. We know all the like. We're all the like. Well, at least Sean and I that we're doing the Transformers. There's actually more. The joke is that my channel's branding is He-Man, but I have no He-Man content. It's all Transformers. It's like, okay, wait a minute. Is this a He-Man channel? It looks like one.
Well, and also we've all seen those episodes of the toys that made us. So
yes, I've seen all those.
I've seen all those.
And I've got the
like. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was gonna say there's a Grayskull documentary too, which is the.
No, I was just gonna point out just what we're talking about. Like Teela's blonde in the mini comics when we actually get Teela, so she doesn't even have the red hair that she ends up with later.
Right.
Yeah. So some of the idea, this Conan thing has kind of been floating around. It's kind of I don't think it's ever been super confirmed. I think it's more like just coincidental that we want to make
it so close. I mean, we got Conan a year or 2 after the He-Man line was so popular, where we got the
Conan the Adventurer,
the Adventurer, and you got that little short run of figures because I had a Hercules, I had a Conan. Like there was this.
That's Remco, right?
Yeah, the Remco.
Yeah, Hercules was Remco,
Yeah.
part of the Warlord line. Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm just going to skip through because I review these on my channel already, so anyone can look at this on my. There's Stratos.
Yeah, I like the artwork on that.
Oh, the
yeah. Oh, if you want these, Ross, I'll loan them to you.
These storybooks are kind of premium because they're over 30 pages. So you get like this nice book, and with great art, and your figure with all the accoutrement. You know, pretty cool.
No, it was great stuff.
Yeah, so this is the shirt. They made this into a shirt, which
awesome.
they've reprinted on TeePublic that you can buy. So I'm gonna get it because this was a vintage shirt that they did, but you can now TeePublic if you look for like the vintage ones, they've got this. So I'm gonna order it. It's like $20 or something, like Canadian. So for you guys, it's like 15.
Somebody in one of the groups has that smoke skull. That they were selling it printed like a translucent plastic you could put on top of your Castle Grayskull and reenact, re-show that whole scene.
Oh, that is so cool.
Somebody else made a lava that come for Snake Mountain. It would actually snap on, and you'd have like this translucent river of lava coming down the side of Snake Mountain.
All right, let's show these. I'm going to be very careful with them. So I do have cells from the show.
Yes.
Wow.
I do have some cells. I gave the She-Ra cell to my cousin because she loved She-Ra. So
good.
There's Beastman.
That's so cool.
Wow.
So you got your numbers and stuff at the bottom, which you can't really tell. And the fellow doing these provided some of the backgrounds as well. So you could do like.
You could lay over and do.
I could lay them over. If I want to.
That is just sick.
You picked these up when they were kind of like at a low and not as expensive as they would be now?
Yep.
Oh, that's a great picture of He-Man right there.
So it's like you can put them on whatever you want, and
it's like color forms. Only really
expensive. We also had She-Ra, which I gave to my cousin. And this I got these when they were like, again, as you guys were saying, they weren't too expensive. There's a guy who had about 500 or 600 of them.
Wow.
And he was, I think he was a bit of maybe he was an older fellow or what. He's just like, I just can't, like, what am I going to do with these? All right, thanks, man, for coming on. So he's just like selling them, and they were maybe like $40 each or something.
Wow.
All day.
I would have bought in way more, but I just like
hello, bank. I need a loan.
Yeah, I know. The other one I've got was this one. So Sean's got this one too, the toys. So I only have a few of these. I got the toys, and the art of, and those other books I showed you. Okay, so the art of, which we're covering this Wednesday. This is the mini comics, which I've shown now on. So this is She-Ra as well. I didn't know that, which it was a pleasant. And when I bought this, I didn't know it, and I found out like one day ago when I was like, "Oh, let me pull this shit out." I was like, "Oh my god, there's freaking She-Ra in here! I didn't know that."
It's New Adventures as well.
Oh, I didn't even look at. So, and then this guide, which is like a weird fan guide, and then I got this foundation thing, which I was showing, which has just like some pretty neat, like, I want to be really careful with this because I don't think this is anywhere. Just like some really cool, like, designs and stuff like that.
Is badass.
Oh, that's Mossman, I think, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, look at that. Oh,
a snout spout.
Snout spout.
Would that be like a version of King Hiss or something like that?
Yeah. Oh, it's just like, that's it. I think Sean has way more, but like, I don't know. Like, we're not gonna, like, is there anything that you've got ones that I don't have?
They made a Origins one for some reason, and this is in the middle of the line, so it's not going to be everything. But
I don't have that at all.
Oh, I need to get that if it's Origins related.
Yeah, I
got this discounted at Indigo that was closing. So yeah. Oh,
Um,
and of course the big newspaper strips,
yeah,
which no
I
one knew
really need
existed
to get
until
that.
like a few years ago.
I don't think I've ever read any of the newspaper
No.
strips. Ours didn't have the He-Man run. That's so
Pretty
cool.
cool.
Yeah. Well, any of these things that anyone sees, if they're a super friend, if any of the super friends want any of these, message me and I'll put it on the super friends drive. And for you guys, I can give them all to you. I've got them all in readable formats. So you can see all that stuff. I've got it all. I'm going to cover it all on the channel, or you can just tune in every time I cover one of these. And but Secret of the Sword. So okay, Ross, what do you? So what do you think? What's all the goofy stuff? Look, he comes in, he goes into a bar. This is exactly D&D. He should go, it's like teleport, get a dream. I got to go to this other dimension. He goes there. And he's like, okay, I'm here. Goes to a bar to get something to eat and drink for Krenger and have a nice time. And then whoosh, Bo is there with the big hood and cowl. It's like, oh, who's this guy? You know, it's like he's like some horde spy or whatever. And then the troopers come in. They're just total dicks. And then they got a TCB, man. They got to take care of business. And then Adam joins the Great Rebellion. What'd you think of it, Ross? You watched the whole thing?
That's the plot.
That is the plot.
It has a plot, and that is it. You know, like I said, I really came more to listen to you guys, and like I said, everything you say, I totally understand because it's exactly how I feel about Micronauts, and so I'm gonna respond to. I'm gonna start this with a short story. I have a friend who's a big GI Joe collector, but it's not the real American Hero. It's the 12-inch
the
doll.
The old line, yeah.
But he's just a couple of years older than me, and so his GI Joe is the Adventure Team one, which is like the flock beard, kung fu grip, eagle eyes, less military and more adventure, where it's like Treasure of the Golden Idol and the Mummy's Curse and all those kind of things. So, which is closer to the GI Joe that I remember. I'm actually much more of a big Jim guy, but but again, like with him, it's very easy for me to understand where he's coming from because I did have a couple of these toys too. It's kind of there was a big overlap. Anyway, so he came out. He's a New Jersey guy who came out here to live for a while, and so he went to these barbecues for GI Joe collectors, but they were all older boomers. They were all like me for you guys, like 10 years older than him. So they were like the military guy with the plastic hair. And there was something you guys said, and I was like, oh, so he took a picture of himself with this toy book he did where he's doing this, and I'm like, what are those gang signs? And he goes, no, that's the original GI Joe hand, the way the hands were molded.
The grips.
Right.
Right. I forgot exactly what it was, but you guys know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the trigger pull and then just a regular
like a hand or whatever.
cupped hand. Yeah.
Yeah. So to hold the right. So you were talking about something, and I was like, oh yeah, that's like the GI Joe equivalent would be that. So he would go to these barbecues, and these older boomers, one of them told him to his face, yeah, I don't collect that flocked hair crap, the fuzzy beard and all that. And so, and he was like the annoying little brother. Like every time he tried to talk about Adventure Team GI Joe, it's the same freaking toy from the same freaking company with the same freaking name. Even not even like the real American Hero ones are, for all intents and purposes, a completely different toy. Yeah. But it's like the same thing. All the parts and accessories are compatible. The clothes fit, everything. But the boomers were like just not having it and just like blowing them off every time.
That's their reboot. They're like, no, that's not
OG. So they were like, no. So for me, like Thundar the Barbarian was my TV cartoon barbarian, and technically I was a little too old for it because I was.
How about Herculoids? Did you like Herculoids?
See, that's more of a boomer thing because that. Like, and when things were gone, we didn't have like a second. We didn't have cable when I was a kid, so like if something was not shown in reruns, it was gone for all intents and purposes. No VHS, no second chance to see it. So Herculoids I was aware of, but Thundar was on TV. We didn't have a VCR. You know what I did for Thundar is I took my audio cassette recorder and plugged it into the earphone jack of the TV and just recorded the audio track so I could listen to it at least.
Cool.
Yeah, yeah. I would do that for TV shows and movies. And like Godzilla movies are freaking awesome because like the last half hour of Godzilla movies is just music and sound effects of monsters screaming and destruction of cities. So, so Thundar was like my barbarian on TV.
Jack Kirby.
It was Jack Kirby, Alex Toth.
Yeah.
So what? Okay, so when this movie was over, when the He-Man movie was over, I was like, well, was Thundar better because that was the show I watched when I was kind of like at the right age to enjoy it, or am I imagining things? So I watched 2 episodes of Thundar after I was done with He-Man, and I was reminded in the end credits, it's like Steve Gerber, Martin Pasco, I forgot who else, but it was like actual Marvel comic and DC guys writing scripts for this thing.
Yeah.
Thundar's better if we're looking at
better,
like we're not like this isn't the He-Man's the only thing there is. The what this is that okay, all of the tropes and all of the criticisms that are laid out, or the same things that are used to give things a pass.
Right.
Oh, it's just for kids. Okay. So when something comes out now that's awful, oh, it's just for kids. Oh, it's just to sell toys. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, but He-Man was just for kids, just to sell toys. But look at the creativity. And look, I understand. I'm watching now. He-Man doesn't use his sword and slash anybody. Like, really, like, what do you have a sword for? But look at the unique characters, the colors. There is a storyline talking about the rebellion. Right, like, what the heck? So this is for little kids to sell toys, but there's still a story, and they're trying to do something creative. Same with Transformers. Sean and I have now covered every like a decade of Transformers or something like this, right? Going episode to episode. Same with G.I. Joe, even Thundercats, any of these guys. Thundar is a better quality, more realized character. Like, it's like a better show. Obviously, it's all the guys. Jack Kirby's the king, right?
Right.
But look at what's for kids now. It's absolute drivel, garbage, nothing. And then when you see other shows that are terrible, like any number of these Star Wars shows, Skeleton Crew, oh, it's for kids. Huh? What are you talking about? It's for kids. Well, it sucks. So what kid are you showing it to?
If it's for kids, it should be better.
It should be better.
That shouldn't be the lowest common denominator should not be the standard for anything for kids. Now, here's the thing. So Thundar, to my high school mind, was as close to Marvel Comics and Robert E. Howard badassery that we would ever see on TV.
Yeah.
Telling that kind of story. Right. Watching it now, I was like, what kind of freaking nightmarish stuff were they putting into kids' heads in Thundar the Barbarians? It's like the apocalypse and everything's all destroyed and the villains are actually scary. Like Skeletor, I think they hit the right balance. If they were aiming for like 5 to 7 year olds for He-Man, Skeletor is about as scary as you want to get.
Yes.
Hordak's about as scary as you want to get. And like you said,
it's perfect.
They were cool toys, and they were also like durable enough that a lot of them survived. Like most of the Micronauts did not survive because they were so fragile.
Yeah.
But like this was durable enough for you to like bang together and like bury in the sand and all the other shit.
Right.
And it was creative enough, and it was like as adults, you guys are going back and going like, oh, that's a remold of XYZ, or that's a repaint of XYZ. Right. The exact same thing happens to big gem collectors and Joe collectors. You know, we all say the same thing, so I totally understand all that stuff. So as a 50-something-year-old adult, I really it was a slog, but I didn't want to miss out on the stream. So,
we appreciate that you gave it a go.
As my new friends, I was like, I want to show this the respect it deserves to your 5-year-old minds. And I was like, okay, if I was a 5-year-old in the 80s and there's like nothing else like this at the time, I 100% see it. And it's and the most merciful thing, and I was going to ask you guys about this too, The merciful thing is Uko's not in this, so that immediately makes it 20% better.
Oh, Orko.
Orko.
Okay,
Yeah.
He's not in, he's only in but his thing was funny. I laughed out loud. It's like I actually laughed. I literally laughed out loud. It was funny to me. He's doing the magic trick. It's like
yeah. So here, okay.
I laughed out loud in after I watched Secret of the Sword, I watched the first episode of He-Man. And I laughed in that one when he did his egg trick or whatever, and then he goes, "Gork, every time you do this trick, his egg shows up on me. No, it'll be fine." And this time he moves the tray like flings off and hits something. So he does the trick perfectly. He's like, "Oh, pretty good," but then the tray knocks everything over. That wasn't in this movie. That was in the episode I watched after because I was like, I can't just watch this movie and nothing else. I gotta watch something else. So I put the first episode on.
See, if you as a kid from the same studio, no less, had watched either of the Adam West voiced Batman cartoons,
which I have,
and then you had to go through like Batmite.
Yep.
It's like Batman.
I owned
in the first 10 minutes of every episode, and then Batmite stumbles in and screws everything up, and the next 15 minutes of the episode is Batman Robin trying to fix Batmite's screw up. There you go.
Oh, heck yeah.
That's cool. I made them. Yeah.
So
I've got this is the entire set of that cartoon. I've got that on DVD and Blu-ray, of course, and I've been reviewing these on my channel. So make sure you're subscribed.
I know
hit the notification bell.
I am so conscious of your other activities that I always try to give you a chance to plug them.
Just setting you up.
You pick it right up. I got to respect the shill, man.
I've got it all here. It's like everything. It's like everything at my disposal.
Like,
what do you got? What do you got?
What do you need? What are we doing right now? I think it was brilliant though for them not to do Orko in this, even though as He-Man fans were expecting it, because they were trying to introduce a similar character in She-Ra's universe. Because you had
Madame Raz,
and then you had Trills or
Trill. I wrote their names down.
Let me ask you this. There's this witch character who's got the same Orko.
Yeah, Madame Raz.
Now, was she voiced by the same actress who did Harley Quinn?
No,
because I did the whatchamacallit, I did the Wikipedia research, and like they didn't list her. I don't think they listed her voice actor.
Do I have Madame Raz's on here? So no, she's not on there.
Oh, by the way, wait a minute. We've got a question. I'm going to say Orko was far more annoying than Jubilee.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be probably meeting Jubilee, the Allison Court, the original Jubilee, because they changed Jubilee because they did DEI on X-Men.
What?
So they got a Chinese lady to voice Jubilee, but Jubilee doesn't have the Asian stereotype accent. So what's the difference? And that was weird. I really enjoyed X-Men 97. A lot of it I thought was awesome. There were some really stupid
X-Men
parts.
97 or this new X-Men 97?
The new one is X-Men 97 because the old one ended in 96, so they're saying this is 97.
Oh, wow.
That's why they're doing it that way. So no, that entire thing is X-Men 97 stuff.
Yep.
I really liked X-Men 97. And they did do a few things that were really stupid. And if somebody wants to dismiss the whole thing because of that, that's on you. Everyone has their opinion. But I would say that like 75% of it was pretty awesome for X-Men 97. I really enjoyed it. Anyways. But they changed Allison Court. So Allison Court's around. She's going to be at the show. She's going to be at the con. And she did Big Comfy Couch here in Canada with the big red nose and all that. She's the girl from that. Yeah. And they changed the actress too. They're like, oh, we gave it to an Asian actress. So I'm like, but Jubilee doesn't. I don't want to do the Asian stereotype accent because I don't want to get canceled.
We know what you mean, though. Yeah,
but she doesn't have that. So what is the difference? Like, really, in cartoons, does it really matter? That's really
just
stupid.
Because she's listed as mixed, basically, as what her character was. They never voiced her as that. That's what I thought it was. I think it was Vietnamese.
I thought it was Japanese. I thought it was Japanese, but I think they got a Chinese voice actress. So they didn't even get that right.
They didn't even get that right.
Okay, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I could
But
be wrong.
still, the whole point of the show was to continue on as if it never stopped.
Correct.
You don't go that drastic with it, which is good.
And-
I've only gotten halfway through that. I haven't finished it. Not because I didn't like it. I just haven't finished it.
Look, they did pretty good. Look, I'll tell you, I liked the Netflix CGI He-Man. I watched it all. My wife and I watched it together. I bought as many of the toys I could before Toys R Us. Our Toys R Us closed a few months back here. We have what Steve has one, so I can go to Steve's.
Yeah, it's still around.
That one's still there. I like that cartoon, but here's the thing. The tagline of that cartoon was like, we're just taking the concepts of He-Man and some of the character names, and it's a new world. So I'm okay with that. I did not like Revolutions because they said it's continuing from the old cartoon, and then it does it. And then they kept saying, oh, Teela, we're trying to make her stronger. I was like, she was strong. Teela's the captain of the guard. She's clearly awesome. She's awesome in the first mini comic.
She's on that battle ring.
First episode of the thing, she immediately goes and fights. She's the captain of the guard. Like, Teela, captain of the guard, go out there and take care of business. She goes out, fights guys. And then Kevin Smith, in his complete stupidity and ignorance and shitakery, is like, I'm gonna make Teela the big star and all that. She already was a star. Well, I'm gonna make her badass. She already was. Oh, I'm gonna make Evelyn badass. She already was.
Right.
Like, all you did was make Teela. He ruined Teela. They ruined He-Man because he died, and that was stupid. But then they ruined Teela, and that actually pissed me off. I like Teela. I always liked her from episode 1. I love She-Ra. She-Ra's like one of my I love She-Ra. Like, I think she's badass and awesome. I can't stand that Kevin Smith ruined. He ruined Teela. He thought he was making her cool. He ruined it. She was a badass warrior. When she finds out that Prince Adam was really He-Man, and then she cries and says, I'm leaving the Royal Guard and all that, I'm like, Teela wouldn't do that. Teela would be like, well, Adam, you didn't tell me, but now that I know you're He-Man, you're awesome. Thanks for saving the day 100 times. I constantly shit all over Disney Star Wars. But X-Men, I said, was awesome. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So Purist is a big-time super X-Men guy. Well, you could see Magneto. He's got half Magneto, half Darth Vader. Like, basically the two coolest villains. The coolest villain from Marvel and the coolest villain in Star Wars. And maybe the coolest character in Star Wars. Merged together. Yeah. It's targeted for audience. Sure. Yeah. That's true. Yeah. But anyways, so that pissed me off. But the CGI He-Man cartoon didn't. And I don't know if any of you guys watched it, but I love the idea that they share the power. Like, He-Man has to say, I have the power, and he becomes He-Man. But then instead of pointing the sword to Cringer, he can give it to anyone. So that's what that is, Charlie.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Sounds amazing.
So just for 2 seconds, so he goes, I have the power, and he gives it to Cringer. Cringer becomes Battlecat.
Yeah.
But he can then give it. So Duncan becomes Man-at-Arms.
Okay.
And Teela becomes the sorceress. So Crass becomes Ram Man. It's a girl, which is stupid. But she becomes. And then what they do is that he infuses. So then he's like, well, you guys should be able to get the power. So he infuses Man-at-Arms' club. So he can hold the club up and say, I have the power. But only if He-Man's got to do it first. But then Skeletor gets evil energy, so he gets Havoc energy with his Havoc staff, and he turns that guy into Trapjaw, this guy into Beastman. They all have real names, so they use their real names. So he's just like a beast thing, but then he becomes Beast Man, right? So and then Evelyn, gets her powers, and then she's kind of like, oh, I like these. And then they're like, we want our powers, but Skeletor doesn't. So Skeletor doesn't allow them to have it unless he specifically gives it to them at the time.
Right.
So whenever he always takes away to punish them, they're like, oh, we want our powers back. He's like, no, do this, do that. And then they start to plot like, how can we get the powers off of him and keep it for ourselves forever and stuff like that, right? And Merman is badass. Like, and Manny Faces is awesome. Like, it's all about sharing the power. So he shares the power with his friends. Right. Look, I think that is the spirit of He-Man, which is to feel empowered. So it's not that it's any race or it's not any gender. Like, but we already had He-Man and She-Ra. So we already had both genders covered with I have the power. In this one, if you like Man-at-Arms, if you like Duncan, then you can also have the power because he becomes Man-at-Arms.
Right.
Do you think
So-
they ripped that idea off for Thor: Love and Thunder when the kids all have like a Thor power?
Oh, I hated that movie.
Well, me too, but I'm just wondering.
Yeah. Oh, 2002 He-Man is. I mean, this is like. So Ross, now you got to watch this one.
Oh God, this is peak He-Man.
This is badass.
This is
Okay,
written for older
I never
people,
saw
so-
that show, but when I saw the designs, like both as a cartoon and for the toys, I thought, oh yeah, I mean, if I was still willing to go back to this kind of thing, I definitely would like, or if I had kids who I wanted to get into something like this, I'd be like, yeah, okay, we could hit the middle ground on this one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
start
this
in
is
the middle
badass.
and then show where it comes from. Them getting because this was a lot of designs by the Four Horsemen.
yeah,
Like
they're the
this was a
best.
perfect marriage
Perfect.
of designer and cartoon, and there's no bad
It looks
other
like
than it ended.
for fans by fans, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much that's what it is.
Yeah, 3
And
seasons.
Going back to the original
Yeah,
He-Man
it's criminal.
designs and the original He-Man toys, this is like a. Well, I think I said something like it before. You know, the practicality of basically using the same mold with different heads and accessories. That goes back to like the Mego, the original World's Greatest Heroes that Migos put out, because it was just kind of like the same body, and then they would make different cloth costumes and.
Yep, Migos the same body except for the heads or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it was exact. Yeah, there you go.
Not that thing.
Right.
And they did the same thing again with these guys and Big Jim and lots of stuff. But I guess Mattel was like the masters. Well,
Masters.
The Masters.
yeah,
the
they were like the
masters
masters of
Well,
retooling old stuff.
It's just
I
like
think
what
those
Sean
even-
said. Merman is Stinkor repainted.
Yeah.
Mossman is Beastman.
Beastman.
With blocking on him. Like
Right. Yeah.
But as a kid, either I didn't care or it just never registered to me. I felt like they were separate.
I was the perfect age. I was the perfect age and had a ton of those Migos when I was a kid. And even then, I knew like, oh, you know, it's like the same body, but different heads and different costumes and all that. Kids aren't dumb; they figure that kind of stuff out. But again, if they love it, they don't care, you know. So,
but look at this for a second. So here, the bigger picture. That's the 2 toys. That is actually very good. Like this does not look like ripping me off.
No, they feel separate. Yeah,
they feel separate.
It's enough of a totally different toy for you as a kid, and it's enough of a redo to save the adults money.
Oh God, they only had to pay for. So that's Mechanex's armor on Stinkor. So they redid that. The shield. Who did that? That shield came with somebody else.
Yeah, that's
And is that an ear of corn in the other guy's hand there?
Oh, it's supposed to be. We all called it the
Hello,
ear of
Angry
corn.
Gamer.
It's supposed to be like scales. Like he had an ocean themed sword, but you would get so many of them. Like a lot of those armors were just repaints of other armors off of people.
And even and even as an adult who still had like a toe in the toy collecting world, especially through my friend who collected the Joes, like the vehicles for these guys were amazing. In fact, I was at what's the one that's kind of like a disc and it's got like little jaggedy things around it. It looks like a.
Oh, I know
that was Roton.
Roton, which
Roton.
looked like one of the vehicles from Thundar the Barbarian. So when I saw that at a yard sale, when I saw that at a yard sale, I was like, hell yeah, I'm getting that. And I think they redid that as a Captain Power toy too.
I had this.
I wish Origins would put this out.
Yeah,
I want a Dragon Watch.
Oh, yeah.
So
and it actually
There's rumors, but
that is a badass. That is a really cool badass toy.
And it walked. It actually did
walked,
what it was supposed to. The spun. You had the
I've got the skeleton thing.
Oh, the troop carrier.
Yeah, troop. What the hell's it called again? Battle Bones.
Battle Bones.
Those toys that worked are cool, but I've got like 5 sets of Micronauts rocket tubes, and one of them works right, and that's it.
Oh yeah, and that actually, if you can find one
Well, look at
unbroken,
that.
that's
Yeah,
actually still
that
got
is
some
totally
value to it.
cool.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff I totally get. Now that never made it to the show though, right? Neither did the other.
No, a lot of
Neither
this.
did that
No.
dragon thing,
No.
right?
No, but it had a comic.
Dragon Walker may have made it to the show.
I don't remember now. I know like all
No,
the
it
other Attack
didn't.
Track did the Wind Riders.
They've made
Talon.
shorts
Oh,
for
there it
their
is.
YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This could
no,
be fake,
that's
though.
the
It
YouTube
did.
channel though. That's not from the show.
Yeah, that's
J-Man.
fake. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
fake.
yeah.
I'll bet
Okay,
it's one
so I
of
don't
those
think
It's
things
still
where it was, like,
official,
on the
but
show
not
for
from
a
the show
minute.
itself.
It was probably on the show for like a minute, and that's it. And you know, and they did the same thing to you guys. What they did to me
What's
with
that
the
called?
Micronauts is like some of that box art. That's how you saw the
Lance
toy,
Shark.
right?
Shark.
That's
Yeah.
when you're playing in your
It's so
backyard.
good.
That looks like those paintings on the box, and we got those Ken Kelly artwork with the paintings of the
Yeah.
Yeah.
like Hornetroid and Terrafont and all that. That's how I saw my Micronauts, was the same kind of badass painting.
One of
I
the
think a
fun.
lot of this was Alfredo Alcala, who also did inking for DC Comics as well.
Alfredo's done a
He
lot
did
of
a bunch of British stuff, and he did some stuff for Argentina too.
One of the best things with
Yeah.
the Origins now is they do this artwork, but they leave Easter eggs of what the next releases are going to be.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
when
yeah.
they drop the artwork, everyone is like zooming in and finding, I see Rio Blast is over here. We don't have him yet, or all
Yeah,
this
they
stuff
always do
throughout
that.
the years. I love every bit of it.
So I did get the tangent, and then we'll get right back.
You hear the
I did get
tease the
the
Roton and all that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got the Super 7 Micronaut reissues. Well,
Awesome.
complete redos, and they did like Ken Kelly-esque artwork on the packaging. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. I'm pointing to it, and you can't see me pointing when I'm pointing at.
No, and when I'm on the screen, I can't even see you at all.
Yeah.
So let me see Super 7.
I'm basically so show the one.
Is this Super 7?
Yeah, show the one.
You want to see that?
Yeah. So the joke is that behind the figure, there's what they call the concerned alien on both of them. It's like the same guy who's looking up at Baron Karza, like really concerned, and they did the same thing with Biotron. And I think it's based on something that they did with the original packaging too, like with the Membros Antron and original Micronauts aliens.
Cool.
But
see, like so my thing is that they keep saying, it's made for kids, but all of these things now that are made for kids are terrible. There's nothing unique. Like, okay, so I didn't collect Micronauts, but looking at this right now, I'm like, this looks awesome, and I want all of them.
Yeah.
You should.
And you go back, and even if you go back to before the three of us, what was the let's say what were they watching, like Speed Racer, Battle of Gotcha Man, or Battle of Planets, Johnny Quest,
Yep.
and you're like, and I go back and look at them, I'm like, well, Johnny Quest is awesome. This looks awesome, right? Like I'm looking at Speed Racer, I'm like, this looks awesome too. So it's like,
the when I was a kid, it was not uncommon. Like stuff from 10, even 20 years before was, especially 10 years before, was often like still on the air in syndication somewhere.
Yeah.
Right.
So Speed Racer it first ran about 10 years before I was really able to understand what it was or whatever. And I'll be honest with you, I kind of hated Speed Racer, but there's a reason why. The reason why is because we had this. So you guys remember UHF, the concept of UHF? Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not just the Weird Al movie. Like Weird Al said,
the legit UHF.
Yeah, the legit.
Yeah, UHF. Yeah.
So Weird Al said he has to explain what UHF is now to younger audiences.
To people, yeah.
It was 20-year-old fans. So anyway, there was a UHF low range station that would show Kimba the White Lion, the Banana Splits, the Three Stooges, Abbott and Costello, Ultraman, Johnny Sacco and his flying robot, and did I say Doctor Who? Doctor Who, Tom Baker Doctor Who, and Speed Racer. And so Speed Racer was like the block between Ultraman and Johnny Sacco. Those were the ones I wanted to see, and I'd have to sit through Speed Racer to
And
get
sit
to.
through Speed Racer.
Yeah,
Come on, hurry up.
which I would do. I would dutifully stay glued to the screen instead of get up and do something else. But
See, we would get Hercules, Rocket Robin Hood, Spider-Man, and Spider-Man was the main big one. So you'd wait to get to Spider-Man, but like the thing
Adventures
is,
of
like,
Captain Nemo as well.
Captain
That was
Nemo,
It's the same thing as this.
It's the same thing as this.
we never got Captain Nemo. We did get Hercules is the one with the ring and
The ring, yeah.
Rocket Robin Hood was huge. They were all
Rocket
Canadian
Robin Hood
made,
was
so
about
they
that.
played all the time.
Yeah.
And this was so the nice thing about living near LA though, or within range of UHF channels in LA, is we had like an hour of Japanese programming, and they would show Jack Fighter, which was one of. In fact, is that him there? No, there was a live action Super Sentai, one of the first couple of Super Sentais. We got Kamen Rider, we got Captain Harlock, we got the Moomin cartoon.
Yeah, Harlock, yeah.
Yeah. So
Kamen Rider,
yeah.
I know.
Mm-hmm. We got we got Ultraman.
This is
Ultraman,
Ultra 7. This is season 2.
We never got Ultra 7 though.
I think you did. No?
Not in LA.
Oh.
No.
There was a Canadian dubbed Ultra 7 that showed up like decades later. But that was weird because they would throw in like these non sequitur jokes.
Right.
that were like the voice actors must have been bored or something. It wasn't quite as zany as Dynaman, but it was because they mostly took it seriously, which made the jokes even more jarring when they did that to Ultra 7. So yeah, Jack Fighter was like there was like a Super Sentai show, but they all were based on card heads, like the King, Ace.
Right.
Yeah,
the face cards.
So Dynaman, like half the people behind Second City TV took some episodes of Dynaman and dubbed it with like really goofy, and the soundtrack wasn't even like the original soundtrack. It was like Huey Lewis and the News and Frankie Goes to Hollywood. You could tell what decade it came out
in. So, Secret of the... Oh my God, Margot Robbie. Yeah, that's funny. Someone did that.
Yeah. So we had a lot of like that stuff on there was the network Saturday morning stuff. There was the after school local channel stuff, and then the UHF stuff was really like crazy Wild West kind of stuff. But that was also like 10 years older than.
Yeah. Right. I've got all. I'm only missing 2 of these, and I've got them all from when they came out. And they did 3 Inhumanoids, and I've got 2 of the 3. I don't have.
Yeah, like that cover art is fucking amazing.
I got like
it's crazy.
Yeah, and you know what? Pick and Save was like that was our Dollar Tree 99 cents stuff. I still have stuff from. I got the 4 treasury or whatever, the collected omnibuses of the Gold Key Star Trek comics.
Oh wow, that's awesome!
They've got the Pick and Save sticker still on them.
That is great. Yeah, look at this, man. Secret of the Dragon's Egg. You can just show me if you just showed me the cover and removed all the text. I would tell you what it's called. I remember.
Oh yeah, I had the little mini records.
Like what were these? Were these like single
storybooks?
So you had short little storybooks, golden books. Well, we had like the golden book style, littler ones.
Yeah,
and then we had my mom and dad would give me. I had like 2 or 3 of the records, the little. Record that would do the story that you read along with. I love those.
I love this one,
man.
They made scores and scores of the cassettes. Yeah.
I still have a bunch of my Power record sets.
Yeah.
Those literally.
I have all these.
Mattel made one of their own.
I've got the Caverns of Fear. Yep.
Yeah, Mattel made one of their own. There was a record that had 2 stories in it, and it came with a comic book, which is in the mini comics book. But then Lady Bird made storybooks and like tons of cassette. Like there must be 20 something cassettes.
How to say you're British or Canadian without saying you're British or Canadian? You just throw out Lady Bird.
Yeah, Lady Bird was the British made cassettes. Yeah, but everyone had American accents, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I do have them all now. I'm missing. I don't. I as a kid, I never had the Rock Warriors.
I don't have that one.
And there's one other one this one, Power from the Sky. That's it. And then I've got all the other ones from when I was a kid with my name written in, because it says this book belongs to, and my name was written in.
Oh,
Yeah.
And I still have that. I still have them now in the in that closet that you can't fit any more shit in there.
Did they do those things where like your parents send in like your name and your friend's name and the place you like to go for ice cream or whatever? And
Oh no, no, yeah, I know what you're
that into
saying.
the story or something.
We had something similar. I don't know if Mom ever did the He-Man one, but there was one she sent for, and I can't remember what it was. And you could get your name added to the story.
Right.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's cool.
I like that
G.I.
artwork.
Joe
But I was not big on New Adventure. I would have been like Ross's Boomers in G.I. Joe. It's not my He-Man.
Yeah.
So there's this.
This is like the Super Joe of He-Man right here.
Yeah,
But they tried to fit in continuity too. But
Yeah,
it was
they did.
DIC this time, so you look nothing like Prince Adam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So G.I. Joe has like 4 levels, like from my experience. The level 1 is your first original guys that you're saying. Then you got your level 2 guys who are with the adventure team people. And I feel like as you move up the chain, this guy can and might like this level and that level and that level. This guy may not care about this level, but may also like it, but may also hate it. And then then you apply that rule to, so this guy says, oh no, I'm done. It's this only. Or he'll be like, well, these 2 are pretty good. So there's original, then there's adventure team, then there's a Real American Hero. But then Real American Hero started to get really sci-fi-ish. The first few waves are like military vehicles. Yeah. Then there's the repaint of, okay, now it's orange. And now it's like, okay, well, what is now? It's like space guys or
now they're eco warriors. Now they're ninjas.
Ninjas. So you and then again, each category has its fans, but sometimes they overlap and sometimes they don't, and sometimes there's like a mini overlap. Like this guy might like these 2, but then not these 2.
It hates the others.
This guy, the guy at the end is always the most free because he's like, I kind of like everything. It's like, you bastard.
He liked the neon G.I. Joes. That's exactly
sci-fi and all of that. Darren Bradley, thank you so much.
You forgot Super Joe. Super Joe was like in between Adventure Team and Real American Hero. He was like a sci-fi one. Let's see. I'm trying to remember. And then in with the Adventure Team, they started to get sort of sci-fi with the Atomic Man and Bullet Man.
Do you know? Hold on, Ross. Do you know Darren? Ross, do you know Darren? He's talking Micronauts, so I'm not sure if you.
Tell him like. Wow. Okay. Well,
yeah, go fetch down box
for me now, I guess. But
there you go, you guys. Yeah, so I feel like, and then so He-Man's got, there's like your He-Man people who are usually overlapping into She-Ra, and then that's your sort of G1 He-Man, and then New Adventures. There's like I was already out of He-Man, although I have about 3 or 4 figures from here, so I was still sticking it out a little bit.
So which one is this one? What's this one called? Is this New Adventures?
This is New Adventures. So let's go. So you can go New Adventures of He-Man. He-Man. Okay.
Yeah, the toy was just called He-Man. The cartoon was called The New Adventures of He-Man.
So like there's Skeletor later on. So that's He-Man in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So He-Man and Skeletor go to a different dimension, and then
so you end up with like Slush Head and
they're going full Flash Gordon there.
Yeah, they're doing. I'm going to say it's Flash
very
Gordon.
much Flash.
It's Flash Gordon.
That was the whole idea, Ross.
They were just trying to insert new blood into the line, and did this one only last like two years?
Yeah, volume. Well, there's only it's just it's 2 volumes on the thing, but look, like Skeletor looks pretty bad. It looks like Punisher.
Mm-hmm.
It's got the Punisher costume.
Yeah, he looked goofy the first few episodes though, because they gave him pupils, and then when they removed that, then he looked great. Yeah.
What was the purple guy's name? I cannot remember the purple guy.
I have some. If they came out in classics, I have them now.
I think they did because I know there was a classic Slush Head.
Yeah,
and then there was so there's Skeletor who's kind of purple, but there was another like kind of squatty looking purple guy.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Was the other villain in that. I remember the commercials for the the new line of He-Mans, and those that was like in the 90s, so they're able to put a little bit more production behind it. Like you had He-Man and Skeletor would actually show. I think one of them was like his kid's bedroom, and it was selling off the actual like swords you could buy, and this kid's fighting Skeletor in his fucking bedroom, and it's like that's awesome. I still didn't like the toys.
Was it like
the toys
Yeah,
were
so-
cool.
Was it a Skeletor costume guy?
It was a guy dressed as Skeletor in the cartoon,
man.
in the commercial, and
So
this kid
yeah.
fighting him off.
So almost
Yeah,
like
that guy on the end over there, J-Man, right? That
Yeah, this
purple
guy.
and red guy. Yeah.
I had this guy,
That's
the guy
so
with the
sad.
eyeball, who's just an eyeball head.
Mhm.
There he is. I had those two guys from when they came out. I think I still have them.
Are these considered? Wait a minute. Go back to. Can you go back to that other image?
What, like this? This is He-Man. This is all He-Man.
Is that an Ovion from Battlestar Galactica in the bottom there?
Oh, over here?
On the very bottom, the green bug-looking guy. That looks.
Yeah,
like,
I have him. I forgot his name though, but
They,
I,
they look
I don't
like
think that's an
they-
Ovion. I think it's a guy that looks like an Ovion. It might
there you
be.
go.
Is it 5 POA?
No, he's too.
No, it's not.
No, he's
No.
too. Buff
Yeah.
to be an Ovion.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That's what mine looks like. He's bare. He's got none of his
Yeah.
accessories.
Yeah.
Castle Grayskull. Kind
It's not terrible.
That's,
Now,
from
if you-
that's from the CG show, isn't
of.
it?
That's from the
not-
CG. That's the CGI
Yeah.
show. Yeah, I don't have that.
Did New Adventures even get a Castle Grayskull playset?
I don't think so. 'cause
I don't think
there
they
wasn't
did.
No,
anything.
they had a big planet for Skeletor. That was their big playset.
Yeah.
Now,
That
are
could
these
fold out. Yeah.
are these considered more or less valuable because they're harder to find or something, or is
Probably
They're-
harder.
or are they just
They're
sort of
a
not
little harder to
desirable?
find, but I don't. They're least less desirable by most
Yeah.
collectors.
Right.
There's
So-
less demand.
If it's
Yeah.
in package, obviously it's going to be worth more. But I can get like the New Adventure He-Man looses pretty cheaply.
So there was this in between line of GI Joes I was trying to say called Super Joe, and it was like a more of a sci-fi one. They had a guy called the Shield who was like translucent, and they were smaller than the 12-inch dolls, but they were much bigger than the Great Real American Hero line. And
Yeah.
like the Shield, he had a little light in his shield that lit up. That was the gimmick, was they all had like some kind of light thing to make it more sci-fi, and Super Joe had like this pack. It was a battery pack on the back and a light in the front.
Yeah.
And so the rubber that held them together, they weren't O-rings that could be replaced, and it was very brittle, and the figures would just like fall apart really easily. And so recently some guy did a Kickstarter for a Super Joe comic book, and he was trying to reboot the whole thing, and then he made some 3D printed copies of the helmet that like you could wear, an adult
Right.
man could wear, and he was selling like what some of the rewards on the Kickstarter were like vintage Super Joe toys and accessories and whatnot. So I was kind of like, and I really liked that Super Joe. That was like the one I kind of liked Adventure Team, but they were kind of expensive, and I was still kind of like not into it. But Super Joe, I was able to get at Pick and Save at a good price, so I got a bunch of them, and I got into it. And so I have a fondness for it. So I backed the Kickstarter and was all excited. But man, that comic was bad. The artwork was pretty good, but the comic itself was bad. It was not a good read.
It's a risky run on. I had a
Yeah.
question though. You're on this Grayskull thing.
Mhm.
So
And
I've got the
I-
first two.
Yeah, I hadn't watched Secret of the Sword for a while.
Mhm.
Why was Grayskull different in that? Like it had legs underneath Castle Grayskull.
Yeah,
at the
they
beginning of the movie.
they're
So
trying to
hold-
say that it's an old skeleton of a giant creature.
Yeah. So
Um,
let me get the hold on.
Because
But that was the first time I think we saw that.
yeah, I was
right?
gonna say it's been a while since I've seen the cartoon, He-Man, but I was like, I don't remember anything like that. And then I saw that opening, and I'm like, why did they try to redesign Castle Grayskull? And then I think there's a flip later in the movie. It looks somewhat normal again, but that's a filmation thing. They're just going to reuse cells from something else. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I
that,
took a
caught,
screenshot.
that caught me off guard right
So
there.
this is another thing I will say nice about this is the backgrounds were amazing on this. This was
they looked really
feature
cool.
level backgrounds. It reminded me of a cross between Ralph Bakshi's Wizards
Yeah,
and some of the crazy European stuff. Like,
it's all rotoscoping too in this, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, they did that throughout the series. Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
big thing Filmation did. So
yeah. Well, it wasn't like the Flash Gordon cartoon where they used the same rotoscope stuff like 6 times per episode. But
Over and over and over and over again.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was
I
gonna
think
say Madame Raz was voiced by Linda Gary, who you just saw the name of for either Angela or Linda Gary. There you go. She did
Teela.
Madame Raz as well.
Oh, okay.
They use the same actors over and over again
Yeah.
for Filmation.
razzle
So it's
dazzle
like-
pizzle pee, make this whatever, you know.
She always
And I
gets it
didn't know
wrong
that
and
Eric.
mess it up.
We're-
Yeah.
we're-
I didn't know that Eric Gundon was really Lou Scheimer. I just used the name Eric Gundon. I didn't know that till the commentary for the movie when the DVD came out.
Yeah,
But he
I didn't know
voices
that there was
Cal.
the New Jersey in the Eternia for her to have that accent. But
Yeah.
okay.
Stealing baby Adora.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite things I found rewatching this was they gave even though the Horde troopers were supposed to be robots, they gave them all personalities.
Yeah.
They weren't just like mindless things running around there. They were like cracking jokes on each other and giving each other shit. And I was like, I like this. I like the Horde troopers in this show.
Well, they didn't explicitly say
Roger.
no, but they didn't explicitly say they're robots and then give them personalities like in that Superman trailer we just watched. It's like, we have no personalities. Giggle, giggle. He looked at me, giggle, giggle. I'm like, I thought you have no personalities.
Yeah.
Right.
What a dumb trick. Anyways, watch my reaction to that. Okay, so this is great. Like he steals the baby and whatnot, and then Force Captain Adora. And it's funny too because it's like, Adora, you're really a good guy. It's like, well, how do you know? Well, firstly, you look half decent. Look at around you. Everyone is a weird monster. You're the only normal person.
Well, okay. Okay, since you brought it up, as an adult, it was hurting my brain like how on the nose these names are.
Right.
It's like it's the Horde, and the leader's name is Hordak. And the one who isn't evil, her name's Adora because
we adore her.
Name.
Exactly.
And you just and the guy who's kind of an archer, his name is Bo. And it's all right. Subtlety is not a 5-year-old's.
Well, it's a toy thing, right?
Yeah, it's a toy thing.
It's word association.
But at this point, branding was like when they made Thundar, they knew that they were never going to make toys because the law that said you couldn't make toys based on
the humanoid look.
That's what's his name, Reagan.
Based on a toy.
Yeah,
that was the thing. You couldn't make a cartoon based on a toy, but you could make a toy based on a cartoon.
Yes.
So they knew that they were probably never going to do Thundar or Thundar toys. So they were less concerned and more concerned about it just being badass. And this is like the branding was baked right into everything as it was happening.
Does anybody else think Shadow Weaver was smoking hot?
I do.
Is she decrepit or no? Because
I need to know what's under those robes.
Like, I know.
It's like, whoo.
She was awesome. Okay,
Shadow Weaver. If her face doesn't look good, put the hood back on. It's fine. It's just everything
who's
else.
the character that had the angel wings and she's had like an angel name?
Angela.
Yes,
Queen Angela.
That was another one. I was like, oh wow.
but Ross, to your point, Mattel didn't know what to do with this line because like my cousin had a lot of these, and all of them are good guys, and they made 2 bad guys. They made Catra, and they made Entrapta. They never made that Scorpion Woman. They never made Shadow Weaver. It's like they didn't know what to do with this. They all made like buddies. It's just She-Ra and her friends. And that's
well, Cringer, I'm just making some stew or whatever.
I'm making my cinnamon bread loaf or whatever he said.
Yeah.
Oh, Adam, every time I eat your food,
Also, Battle Cat got quite a bit of standout in the first couple of episodes beginning of the movie. Like he's doing some pretty cool shit. Now that's the
Yeah.
other shot right there that I was just like, what happened to the Castle Grayskull? Try to peace out, and I missed it. What's going on?
Yeah.
Is the sorceress? Are those feathers like a costume, or is she naked and has feathers?
Costume.
It's
But she can turn
costume.
into a bird.
She can turn into Zor.
Zor.
the
Yeah.
bird.
Oh, okay.
So you had Zor the bird, and then so they could reuse the model. We got Screech, which
Right.
was Skeletor's pet bird. So once again, reuse the models. Good job, Mattel.
Yes, cool.
Was Screech
Yeah.
in the show? Not really, right?
I don't think
No.
Screech ever made it to the show. He was
No.
just in a toy line. And I
Yeah.
think you could only get him in a 2-pack with Skeletor.
Right.
Was to
Yeah,
get
it's the
Screech.
whole Ratchet, Ironhide,
Yeah.
Right.
That they started doing those double packs, and that was like
Yeah.
wave 3 or 4, and
Oh,
all
yeah.
it was a reissue of wave 1 Skeletor, but now you get a bird. So we're gonna
Yeah.
sell them the exact same figure, but it's got a bird.
Now, speaking of undesirable toys, did any of you guys actually have a Prince Adam? Like
Yeah,
on
I had him.
you said, "I'm going to get a Prince Adam," or
I have him. I had him.
somebody gave it to you as a gift? Or something?
My parents' rule was they didn't buy me doubles. So if I
Right.
had He-Man, I didn't get Prince Adam.
Okay.
If I had
They weren't
He-Man,
just
I didn't get
protecting you or
Battle
something,
Armor.
right? Okay.
Well, it was like even my mom didn't really like buying me villains, but my dad's like, they got to fight something. He can't.
Right.
So, you got to do that because she would get me the Super Friends, and
Yep.
I never
Mhm.
got a bad guy. I had
Oh.
Superman, Batman, Green Lantern, but my cousins, I remember vividly. It was Christmas. I got to pick them out, and I picked out Brainiac for my cousin Jared. I picked out Lex Luthor for my cousin Jimmy, and I forget who I got, Jeremy. Mom bought them villains, but I did it so I could fight my good guys against their bad
Right.
guys when I came over for Christmas.
And
So
they
I was,
were
I
always
was
gonna
already
lose.
concocting as a kid.
Yeah,
so I
see,
could get
Angry
to play with
Gamers,
them.
Angry Gamer gets it.
Yeah.
Found
I
a
had- I
Prince Adam,
saw-
but I didn't have
No.
to buy one.
The last time I had counted when I was a kid, I had 64 He-Man figures
Wow.
as a
Wow.
kid. My
Now-
mom worked at Eaton's for Eaton's, which was a big like a Walmart,
A Canadian
Yeah.
department store.
Canadian Walmart or whatever.
Mhm,
Yeah.
And her main base was Eaton Center, which was downtown Toronto,
mhm.
heart of Toronto, and she was a sales lady,
Mhm.
and she was friends with the buyer of toys, and I loved He-Man. So, and the buyer would get the heads up saying he would purchase the how many boxes and SKUs, right? So to them, it's all just product. So it's like, we want these SKUs or whatever, and they would get them. So my mom would get, like, I'd get everybody. She's
Wow.
like, she's like, save me one. So she'd get the buyer to tell the floor manager, it's like, when you open up a box, just one of each of the men, not the play set. So I did have Castle Grayskull and Dragon Walker, and that mosquito thing with that wing. I had that. I had a bunch of the vehicles. I had that battle ram.
This may be a personal question, but did you get them at full retail minus employee discount, or did you get them like really cheap?
Probably
Like,
discounted.
really cheap.
Yeah, probably discounted, maybe cheaper, but she would have them saved. So she would come home from work with
Mhm.
whatever came out. Like, I remember, like, I was asleep and she came over. She's like, oh, and she woke me up. She's like, oh, look, she came home late that evening. So we
Yeah.
all lived together. My mom, my aunt, my
Mhm.
grandparents, and me, and then my cousin was born. So the 6 of us were in a 3-bedroom apartment
Wow.
for a long time, 6 of us. So we shared a room. So we were very tight. I don't know who my father is, and my cousin's dad was out of the picture. So it was like literally all women, and my grandfather was the only one. My grandfather would drive me or take me anywhere.
Mhm.
If we look at superpowers, I had almost everybody from the first 2 waves. Like, if you look at that, I had the whole top row and the whole second row.
Right.
Mhm.
He-Man, I had everybody. Like, I didn't have Tila or Evelyn. For some, she didn't think I'd want the ladies, but every other toy I got. and she would bring it home. And I remember she'd wake me up. She's like, I got you a new guy. And it was Moss Man. I was like, oh my God. I remember getting each of them. It was something. My next door neighbor. And then anytime somebody had to buy me something, it would be He-Man. There's one time I did have a lot of G.I. Joes as well, because those were cheap. And I remember we went to like a Christmas party. We went to like a Christmas party, and Christmas parties are done by the company doing a Christmas party, and they have like a Santa thing where they get gifts out. And my aunt, my cousin, like her daughter wasn't born yet, or was either too young or something. So my aunt took me to her Christmas party, and I got Tomax and Zaymot, the full 2-pack,
double
right?
pack.
The double packs.
Yes.
And I was like, and I saw kids getting gifts, and they were trash gifts. I was like, it was like shitty dollar store gifts. I was like, okay, no problem. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And I got mine. I was like, holy shit, I got chairs fucking crazy. I'm like, I still have them right now. I still have those two.
Yeah.
So, and I did not know for years. And then my aunt, we were talking once, and I was like, hey, because I still had them. I kept them. And she's like, oh, the store. She's like, my company didn't accept you as one of the kids because you weren't my son. So they're saying the budget doesn't cover it. So she knew I liked G.I. Joe, so she bought that for me with her money and put it under the tree so I wouldn't feel left out.
Dude.
She did that.
That's the Hallmark holiday special.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love it.
I love it. I'm getting goosebumps. So she gave it to me. I still have it.
That is so bad.
If you guys ran out of room, for your toys, cousin's got to go. You know?
Yeah, no. And then,
it's either the 2-pack or the cousin. Cousin's got to go.
And then this toy right here, is not mine. This is for Greg Teskey from that company, Teskey. I don't know if Sean, you might know Teskey if you look it up. Went to Greg's birthday party. My mom and I went to the toy store, and she says, what do you want to get, Greg? I was like, oh, well, we got to get him a He-Man. So let's get him Battle Armor He-Man. This is the one right here. Yeah. And we're like, all right, let's go. Got pumped. We went to his house for his birthday party, and I'm like, hey, is Greg there? And Greg wasn't there. I'm like, where is he? He literally left and went. It was his birthday party, and he didn't feel like having it or something, and he was throwing a tantrum. He literally, him and a couple of other people left and went somewhere else, and his mom was like, yeah, there's like no one here. He's not here. I'm like, really? And my mom was like, okay. And I think this is in the time where, you know, my mom drops me off, and she's like, okay, now I got the afternoon. I'm going to go get groceries or whatever she's got to do. Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, he's not there. And it's like, oh, he went to this other kid's house and they're doing other stuff. And my mom's like, I'm not dropping you off at a kid's house that I don't know. She's like, we're going back. And I said, well, we bought him the He-Man. She's like, it's yours now. I was like, oh, are we going to take this back? And she's like, nope. She's like, that's yours. You can have it. That's the one right there.
You missed
what a
out on
spoiled kid,
birthday.
dude.
So I have like a story for everything. And I kept all this stuff, and it's so cool. I remember getting my first G.I. Joe, which was Torch. I was at Palm Beach. We went to, it was at Zellers or what's the Towers. It was Towers at the time. Never had a G.I. Joe. My friend who I cannot name on streams, he doesn't like to be named. He's like, oh, do you have any G.I. Joes? I was like, no, you have to buy a G.I. Joe because I brought some. I was like, okay, who should I get? And I still got that Torch. I remember picking up. My mom gave me $20. She's like, this is your budget. So a lot of it went to Rampage. Some of it went to Torch. Some of it went to Godzilla, a Godzilla toy from like 1980, whatever. It's on that shelf right there. I still have it from that day. And I bought a bag, and I still have a few of them. One of them's right over there. Army men, but ninjas. They had ninja army men. I still have it right there, buddy.
You can give a kid 3 hours of math homework a night, and they will never learn economics as well as they will if you give them $20 and say,
this is it.
What comic does this break down to? How many figures can you buy?
One last thing.
Figure that shit out real fast.
And I got an issue of Mad Magazine. It was with 4 issues in one. It was 4 covers. You know how they did the 4 covers in one? Yeah. I got that. So I got that, Bag of Ninjas, Torch, Godzilla, and there must have been like $8 or $9 that was still left over because that Godzilla was all cheap. And I just played Rampage the entire weekend, I think we were at a beach, and my mom's like, "Are you guys gonna go to into the water?" I'm like, "I'm playing a Rampage." Like,
Yeah, I don't need
go away. I think I went in the water once.
See, if you
I went to the beach and didn't even go in. I'm like, I'm playing Rampage. What are you talking about?
see, if you hadn't like destroyed the toys, they'd be worth something now too, on top of everything else.
Well, yeah, if we had left them in the package and never touched them, and I was never that kid.
No,
I was a let it breathe kid.
well,
But I was gonna say, I remember Ross when you just brought it up too. Like we would get that budget, and I remember the hard lesson of learning what tax was.
oh
Yes.
yeah.
I thought I had enough, but I had
Yeah.
to get something a little less, or get something for get change back, so I had my tax paid. And I was like, "What the fuck this tax?" And to this day, I'm still fuck this tax. I
Yeah.
don't like it anymore.
Right?
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
gonna waste it anyway. You might as well waste
Yeah.
it on toys.
Oh, God.
Well, there was no tax in the arcade games. It was a quarter. We played Rampage all weekend, man. And then they had the best fries with gravy. Oh my god!
Poutine.
Oh yeah, poutine.
I'm not Canadian, but I fucking love poutine, man.
Yeah, no. And we I wouldn't get the cheese on it. I can't go the full poutine. I can only do. I can't do it. I don't know. I'm Canadian. It should be in my blood, but it's not.
No fat back or nothing cut up into it or anything like that. Oh,
No, in California, that's against the law.
that's California, man.
Look at
these guys. Look at him, spread eagle, sitting on the chair like I'm the baddest one here.
He's man spreading.
Yeah, he's man.
Man spreading. Yeah.
Yeah, this guy. Look at this guy.
Check
And
out
then
my
one guy's got the
codpiece.
weapon.
Yes.
You can tell this guy's the serious guy, and this guy's I can kick anyone's ass.
Yeah,
here.
he's the troublemaker. Dude,
Well, if he's a robot, why does he even need a big cod piece like that? But whatever.
Yeah, this is one of these weird. So I can't remember this. Maybe you guys can help me out. Did She-Ra use her sword to hit, or same as He-Man? She would throw guys or throw shit at them, or
I don't know if she actually hit anyone. Now they did the sword deflecting laser bolt,
right?
which was always a
They
cool
would
way
throw
to
them
do it.
around and stuff.
Yeah,
The other
I think
thing too
it's
is I have a
tougher.
hard time believing they're robots. They say they're robots when they hit them. We go, oh, there's just a robot. But like, Prince Adam does disguise himself in
Yes.
the armor of.
Little hair
So you'd have
sticking
to
out of the
hollow
helmet.
out
Wait,
all the
wait.
circuitry and
Look
do
the
that.
Prince
So, yeah.
Precious heart on this guy's chest.
Yeah, because he's
It's the girl character.
he's the girl character. Yeah,
Yeah.
Because that was like Prince Precious from Flesh Gordon had that kind of
Yes,
vibe going,
very
yeah.
much so.
But I like the stash, man. This guy's
Dude, I'm telling you, I always wanted him, but I couldn't buy this one. There's another shot of him later that's like looking up at like He-Man's perspective, and this motherfucker's cut. He's got abs.
yeah. Look at this.
Like there's another one worse than that, better than that. That it's just like, oh my god, Jesus, this is a kid's show. Puts a shirt on.
Yeah, for sure. The figure didn't
didn't
have a mustache. Just
So
like,
in the episode,
Oh yeah,
going back
Just
to
like
the
from
robots, in the episode of the first episode of Thunder I watched was like the first episode on the Blu-ray, right? And they get attacked by these, mindless, faceless minions, and they're humanoid. And at one point, Thunder goes, "They're just robots." And from that moment on, the gloves were off. He like stabs them right in the takes
Right. Yeah.
runs
that
it right
was
through
the rule.
chest, cuts off arms and shit. And I was like, when Captain Power was on TV, part of the reason it got taken off the air and part of the reason the whole thing tanked was because parents groups were complaining that you had to fire at the TV.
Yeah, that was
and
awesome.
humanoid
It worked.
figures.
Yep.
Even
It
though
did
they
work,
said they're
yeah.
robots,
Yeah.
the parents were like, "Well, they look human to me," and it's like they're robots, So
Well, they did the same. That's the He-Man movie to keep it a little on. Is they had to switch it up that the troops are robots in
Right,
Skeletor's army with that. The
I
foot
like that.
soldiers in the cartoon had to be robots for the Ninja Turtles to use their weapons.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
plan, yeah.
Yeah, they're not wayward teens or whatever. You know what? I'll say this, and Skeletor does have robots. He's got those floating robots.
Yeah.
I'm totally cool with the Horde troopers being machines, and I'm totally cool with Skeletor's troops in that movie. I love one of the things I know you guys did you did a So Charlie's podcast. So make sure you guys are checking out his podcast. The link's in the description of this video, plus all my other videos. I know you guys did the Masters of the Universe movie, and I would have loved to have been on that if we didn't know each other, I don't think, or whatever. But anyways,
I think we barely did. We had just not long after I started with action.
Yeah, and I remember your boys, and I was like not happy with your boys because at the end you're like, well, what do you give this? I'm like, well, this is obviously a 10 out of 10, and they're like, oh, it was okay, I guess. I was like, what? What are you talking about? You didn't watch this movie? And I remember Sean and I were discussing that podcast. We're like, what the shit's going on with his buddies on this podcast? What is happening? And it's like, how are they not giving this a 10 out of 10? I'm like, it's this, you can't get more 10 out of 10 than this movie. Yep. It's like every second is best.
Welcome to my pain on that show. Okay.
I know. I was like,
okay, Charlie, we're friends now. I thought that the what's the name of the little Billy Barty character? That's the Uko
Gwildor.
Gwildor.
Orko stand-in. Yeah. See, I thought he was at least 40% better than Orko. And
Gwildor's awesome. I want Gwildor and I want Gwildor and Orko. Because
a team up between them two would have been awesome.
He was like Billy Barty, and on top of that, I don't know if you guys were around or have seen old live action shows, but Billy Barty was like the little person in a lot of those Sid and Marty Krofft shows. Like he was Sigmund. He was Sigmund and the Sea Monsters. And
yeah.
Tons of variety shows, and he was a good actor too. And I really, I was like, if you have to have the Orko stand-in, that's the way. I thought that was the way to
so
do it.
well, and it
he made
bring
the
that science. Yeah, it brings the science into it.
Look,
that movie will forever be perfect to me. Yeah, I mean, it's Anybody wants to go check that out, you'll hear a grown man cry in that episode. It's an emotional episode, but yeah, it's just it's all He-Man for me, man. This is my childhood right here. This is what I grew up, imagining, playing, reenacting. My parents couldn't afford Castle Grayskull. I had a 2-liter cardboard box because my dad worked for Pepsi. I made my own Castle Grayskull.
I love that, man.
Yeah.
So what the first Micronauts I ever had were, I bought it there was like a department store sale. It was like a high-end rich old lady store. Yeah. And so they had a parking lot sale. And so I got I got a space glider, the Biotron. I got the Star Trek bridge set for the 8-inch dolls, 8-inch Mego dolls. And that all went together and became like one, that was like the bridge of the Micronaut ship, blah, blah, blah.
Play set.
And you just mixed and matched. Because again, there was no TV show or cartoon to kind of like guide you, like, this is how they're played. This is the relationship between it. It was just kind of like, they all fit on that same thing more or less, so fine. And then I think the Fisher-Price garage was like the bad guy's base. So the way we played with them back then was just kind of like unhinged.
We played with them. We used our own imaginations for this.
That's it. Yeah. So as I was watching this, I was like, I want to hear how these guys played with these things. I want to hear what they meant. I want to hear their stories about grandma and aunt and mom buying special Christmas.
These are the stories we have, man.
Yeah, exactly. So so one more Micronaut story, because that's like so off brand for this, but a friend of mine.
Yeah, He-Man will beat the crap out of the Micronauts, just to let you know.
The Micronauts would just swarm on him and kick him in the nuts without him even knowing.
You can't hurt He-Man, though. That's the only.
So actually the Micronauts would do the thing that Ant-Man always said. They'll crawl up Thanos' butt
and get big.
Yeah. But anyway,
that happened in The Boys, and trust me, no one liked it.
No one wants to see that.
Okay. So anyway,
we have evidence of that actually happening.
So the nice thing about the He-Man toys is that they would stay, like, whether or not they had, depending on the accessories, it seems to me as a semi-outsider that the toys stayed like 75% together. Like you could, as long as you had like the He-Man doll, whatever accessories you lost or pieces of the armor that fell off or whatever got broken, it was you still had a He-Man doll. The Micronauts were like really fragile. Yeah. And they had interchangeable parts. So if you took the people my age, it's there's tons of stories about, yeah, I took my Micronauts apart and left them on the floor of the living room, and my mom thought they were broken, so she just threw them all away. So a friend of mine went to a thrift store, and he found this bag of parts, and it was like $3. And he ran a comic book store, and so he said, "Hey, I was waiting for you to show up." So he presents me with this $3 bag of parts, which I immediately recognize as Micronauts. And he goes, "I think there's a lot of Micronauts stuff in there." And I said, "Yeah, there is." He says, "You can have that for free. You don't even have to pay me the $3. I just want to watch you put them all together." So within 10 minutes, I was like, "Dude, mobile exploration lab, most of a battle cruiser." And I forgot what the third thing was, but I mean, it was like just one of those vehicles alone, even not complete, was well worth the $3. And there was like
100%, yeah.
3 things, plus there were accessories that I took home and added to stuff that I didn't have complete there either.
I know
it
it's
was
about,
like, yeah, my fleet was expanded by
quite a bit. I was gonna. One of the most brilliant things, and we'll talk about it when we finally cover the toys, when J-Man does these more, is they thought through kids are going to lose the accessories. So we got battle packs.
Yeah.
The extra weapons that were just a little bit different color, but it was the same molds. And you could redo your figures. Like there was a yellow Beast Man armor that you could put on him, which is technically Moss Man's if you wanted to give him armor later. All of these you could.
I had this one and I did exactly that, Charlie. I put the yellow one on, which wasn't exact, but
see,
it was close enough.
Is everything Mattel learned from Big Jim.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look, the vacuum was our bane of existence as kids when Mom vacuumed our bedroom. Sure. G.I. Joe weapons gone. Star Wars weapons gone.
We just talked about Star Wars.
Those things were magnets to vacuums. Like that's why sometimes the weapons are way more expensive than the figures.
They are now.
There's a guy, Sean and I were just making fun of this on Transformers stream. There's a guy there's a guy at these cons. He just has sections of like boxes, and it's just little baggies. Yes. And it says, and literally, depending on how intricate, it'll be like He-Man, and then it's just a million weapons, and you could just like shuffle through. I need that one, and then but for Transformers, he's got it like Combiners, Autobots, Decepticons, right? And then within that, it'll be like a baggie that's like, I don't know, like Hot Rod or something. And it's like
fists, missiles,
missile. Right. Yeah.
Like
dude.
Fists are like the bags like this.
Yeah, it's like bags of fists. And you're like, what is this? So I'm telling you, buddy, I go to home, I'm like, okay. I'm so like literally it was Pretender.
Wait, is he doing this? Is he 3D printing these?
No. These are the real
G ones. Like you can buy lots.
Okay.
And if you dig at the bottom, there's always pieces. It doesn't even matter if it's like if I bought a G.I. Joe lot, I guarantee you there's Transformer pieces.
Right. I don't have
on eBay. There was always like miscellaneous junk in the bottom that was useful.
So look, I'm missing this.
Right.
They're doing so they have to be doing 3D printing for this stuff now.
No. The guy's not. No, he's not doing.
Not this guy, but I mean in general, like in my.
That's the thing.
There's
no, that is a thing. You could they 3D printed everything. No, but I'm saying this guy particular. So the problem is that okay, if I have this character, which I have this character, and I'm missing this thing, so now this character missing this thing is worth X dollars.
Right.
But if you have the full guy, he's worth X times 5 or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
So he's saying he's
thing.
like. Yeah, he's like, okay, give me $30 for this axe, and now this figure is worth $250 instead. So it offsets. But the thing is that I don't sell these things; I'm keeping them. Right. So to me, I'm like, I'm paying $30 for a stupid axe. Right. So that's how you think. But now, I actually, if you look at Oliver, a lot of new people today. Thanks, guys, for showing up. Darren is new. Angry Gamer is new. Oliver is new. No, Oliver, you're not. You've been here before. I remember your name.
Yeah.
He-Man, G.I. Joe, Transformers. I agree.
This is what I predicted. I was like, well, I worship the ground of the Doc Savage movie, and I've seen the Zorro movies like an insane amount of times, but this is going to be the one that gets all the views.
Yeah. So see, if you look at, so this is my current list. This is my work in progress He-Man list, and you see what it says: weapon only.
Yeah. It's a blur,
so I don't have Beastman's black whip. Otherwise, I have his full armor.
Yeah.
So it's like I need the black whip. I need Buzz-Off's helmet.
What is the black whip look like?
It's Big Jim's whip.
It's Big Jim's whip. It looks like a megaphone with a hole drilled in the back with a black string
with a thread on it.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, that's totally what I was wondering. I was like, they had to have used the whip.
So see, it's literally a black string with that stupid little handle, and so the thing is, I have Beastman. He's beautiful condition. He's perfect, and I've got my childhood Beastman. Plus, I have a perfect condition new one. Yeah. It's missing the whip. So now, just as Charlie was saying, every time we go to these toy shows, we haven't gone in a while. There's a dilemma. I sit there. I'm like, okay, this whip is going to cost X dollars. Right. Do I just buy a full complete Beastman, you know what I mean, and have a full Beastman and then have an extra loose Beastman who's just missing a whip? So you start to play these games, and the problem is that I'm not pissed, but I'm slightly kind of like losing interest in trying to like now piece all this together. Yeah. It's like, because it's getting to the point where I'm like, you know what? Starting now, like same with Transformers, I found a couple of guys who are in Canada who have Transformers, some of the guys I want, and I'll just deal with them and it's through eBay, or I'll just email them, hey, I need this. Can you send this to me? And that's it. Same. We go to the Transformers convention. Same thing. I go there. I'm like, I just want a complete guy. Now, Wave Rider, I knew he wasn't complete. I'm like, I'll take it because the guy wanted like $15 or something. I'm like, I'll just take it.
That's a no-brainer then. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's things like that, right? So it's tough collecting. So I'm trying. I still want it to be fun. I don't want it to be, I'm on my phone and now I have to get the calculator. Okay, Sean, remember this number, 35. And then I'm going to be like, okay, you're saying this. Okay, so what did that guy say? Okay, it's 35 and he's saying this. What do you get? Okay, so if I get both of these together, like, what am I doing? What happened to, I like He-Man, I want to get a cool figure. Why is this so weird? And it made me slightly, even with Origins, we talked about He-Man Origins. The second it was like, oh, it's exclusive to Target, we don't have that in Canada anymore. Or this one is exclusive to this collector's club. Like, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah.
Origins was my absolute, when that came out, that was my absolute, I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever.
It's the only one making me stick it out. That's how much I love Origins.
I know. Yeah. And Charlie, I'm glad that you stuck it out. Because Sean bought me Castle Grayskull. Actually bought it for me, and I'm like, it was so expensive, and he went and it was like super cheap. It was like clearance or something, so he got a couple of Grayskulls.
That's when I bought mine. Clearance. I waited.
Clearance.
Yeah, and that's the problem is we've passed the Rubicon of when we're going to find that stuff on clearance or in some junk cost.
But hold on. But Ross, the thing with this toy line was that the marketing, the taglines, the promise was this is going to be at your generic stores. It's going to be at Toys R Us. It's going to be at Walmart. It's going to be
everywhere. Everyone will find this. Everyone has the ability to get it if you want it.
And I did. He-Man, Skeletor, Stratos, Mechaneck, Merman.
First wave.
No problem.
Yeah, it was everywhere.
Even second, third. And then I'm like, okay, Clamp. I got Clamp Champ. There's a few where it's like, okay, this is a bit tough to get. Yeah. And then I'm like, I couldn't find, I don't know who it was. Maybe it was Mossman or one of these guys was like, why can't I get this? Like, oh, it's exclusive. Like,
exclusive.
Yep. Yeah. And I'm like, well, read between the lines, finished. Yep. And Charlie, did you message me? So I think Charlie, you messaged me saying, do you want a Mossman? I was like, no.
I asked you. Yeah. I said, no. I was going to get it and send it to you. Yeah. Because my Walmart had a bunch of them. Well, and then the other thing is, this was a perfect toy line that came out right before COVID hit. And then we had all of the distribution issues. So then things weren't coming out regularly. Then, like, we would get one case. Like, I'd walk into my Walmart and find the wave I wanted, but there was only 4. And I'm like, I'm collecting. I'm not scalping. So I didn't feel as much of a dick But I was like, now no one else that's collecting this is going to get it. And Ross, I'll make you happy. The only one I haven't bought is Orko because I too am not a huge fan of Orko. He was sitting there. He was
I get the Orko.
Nah.
I have Orko from when he came out. The first Orko. I have the first
my
one.
OG. I don't have the magic discs with the
No,
trick.
I don't have that anymore.
But I have my OG Orko with his hat. I do have his hat.
Me too.
Yep.
I'm trying to remember like how old I was once, because they started putting like the cute, funny comedy relief character in to shows when I was a kid, but I don't know how young I was because I remember hating Godzuki from the Godzilla cartoon.
Yeah, I hate it.
Like
Filmation did that all the time, though. Godzuki was Hanna-Barbera, but Filmation did that all the time. The Trobits in Black Star, the similar characters in Black
Flash Gordon,
in Brave Star.
The first season of Flash Gordon was perfect, and then the second one,
second season was that dragon thing. Yeah.
And there's no way to make Orko cool. I mean that doesn't change anything for me.
But the Orko in this one is a robot. A robot.
I'll say this: as much as I'm with J-Man about Revelations and Revolution, I did like the Orko character.
Oh, he looked better. Yeah, he was.
He looked better, and they gave him actual hero moments.
Yeah.
They put him up against Scareglow, which was like,
yes,
okay.
Scareglow looked cool. Everything
visually.
The commemorative. I do remember the commemorative collection. I have some of those.
The redo.
What made the Revs? What made the Revs worse was that it looked so good. Yes. So it's one of those things where I saw the trailer. I was like, "Holy hell! This is what Kevin Smith said. It is a continuation of that old show. Wow, this is fantastic." And then it was trash. I was like, "Really?" Yeah. And it's like I hated it.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I got to answer a Darren Bradley question.
Yeah, Darren asked one.
So, Darren, I do have a Henshin Cyborg, but it's the original Japanese Henshin Cyborg. I did not know that they had been rebranded and released in the UK until I saw there's a long video where Jonathan Ross goes through his office or whatever, it's bachelor pad, man cave, whatever that is, with those two toy collectors. And he shows his, obviously, because it's Jonathan Ross, mint and box lineup of those guys. So I like him. I like the packaging. I love Henshin Cyborg, but I only have one because that's all I can afford. And it might even be a re-release. But so I like it, but I just didn't know that the UK one was available and the packaging was pretty cool. So there you go.
Awesome.
Snake Mountain.
Yeah, this Snake Mountain, it looked cool, but like it's not. It always irked me because Castle Grayskull was Castle Grayskull. I was like, oh yeah, this is like, what is this? It's like some purple play set with like a.
It's a Big Jim play set. It's a rejected Big Jim play set.
It's a rejected Big Jim.
Yeah.
And I love how a channel that I subscribe to is Retro Blasting. And one of their older videos was him pointing out all of the flaws of Snake Mountain, and he got a lot of hate for that. But I'm sitting there watching this video, it's like, kind of agree with all this.
It's not that he was wrong. He's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
Is this like the year?
You can't cross the bridge. The toy has to go sideways to cross the
bridge.
Which
I thought was hilarious in the movie when Hordak walks up and he goes, looks different than I remember because it's totally changed from when he was in control. So there you go. It's only because Skeletor made it his own. And that's why it looks so weird.
Skeletor changed.
I mean, I'd love the gimmick of the wolf microphone, but what that had nothing to do with the show.
Yeah, like, what is that?
Yeah.
But Snake Mountain looks awesome.
What's with the wolf microphone then?
It was just one of those voice changer things like that reverbed your voice. It was just to give it something else.
Yeah, an extra
ability.
For the
and
sellability.
And the snake thing is a big. That Snake Mountain was a Big Jim thing.
Rejected,
no, so that Snake Mountain there. So
not this one.
That's Origins.
That thing was an old Jungle playset from Big Jim. I don't know if they released it, and they retooled it for this.
Trying to see if there's like a repaint, like a painted up version.
Yeah.
Just put in Big Jim playset. See what pops up on there.
Yeah. See what
Yeah,
pops
so I was
up.
gonna say, okay,
It's
so Big
a
Jim
jungle thing or something.
Jungle. No, I don't know.
No, yeah.
It might have been
Well,
like
Big Jim,
on a rejected.
Big Jim
Yeah.
Tiger is what's his name? Battle
Oh, that's
Cat.
Battle Cat. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
it's,
there
well,
was
it's Battle
like,
Cat
there's like
and
an insane
Panther.
amount of European and Mexican Big Jim stuff that
Yeah, see, there you go.
is
Yeah,
so
right there's
like
all
I
three
don't even
right
want
there.
to fill my brain with that stuff because it's too much.
Yeah, so there's that. So they repainted the Big Jim, and that was He-Man's cat.
Mm-hmm.
And then also Panther.
came out
Yeah.
flocked. And
He's flocked,
never
yeah.
did a flocked Battle Cat.
Yeah.
That's the 2000X
2000X. I always loved that
version.
one.
And then I've got Battle Cat. I've got I think I have Battle Cat. I don't know what to call that Netflix show. Netflix CGI. There he is.
Yeah, that one's pretty cool. That one definitely has influence of 200X on it.
Yeah,
They
it's
gave
a
him
bit
that
of a
separated
mashup.
armor. Yeah.
Yeah,
they
they
did his
mashed it up.
claws and everything up. Yep.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
like, and to make him in this cartoon, he's not cowardly. He has no claws,
Oh,
so he's declawed. So that makes him less. So he's like, I want to fight, but I'm not effective. So the
Right.
first thing that they make for him is the claws, and that is what turns him into Battle Cat. So they actually
Alright.
make him robotic claws so that he can at least attack. I can't remember if Duncan makes those or whatever, and then he's able. And then each guy. So Duncan fights Trapjaw. Beastman fights because Beastman hunts these cats. So Battle Cat hates Beastman. Duncan hates Trapjaw because he used to work for him. Sorceress fights Evelyn. He-Man fights Skeletor because he's his uncle. So they use the Keldor
So
thing.
everybody had their own little nemesis group.
Everyone had their nemesis.
Yeah.
It is a smartly done, and Crass
Yeah.
is the only change. Crass is the only gender change. But she was like my favorite character. I thought she was like the best character.
Honestly, it kind of is funny when you go Ram Mam. I mean,
Ram Mam, yeah.
Somebody pitched that and someone chuckled and went, it's in.
It's in. We're putting it in there. But did you see, like, I mean, the Netflix,
We're gonna trade that before Brazzers gets to it.
like, yeah, but like Merman is awesome. Like, look how awesome Merman is.
That's a sick design right there. I do like
Yeah.
that. I saw
so-
I saw some of the toys briefly in store,
I've got
and
them.
I remember it popped on. I think because it came out so close to Revelations,
Yeah.
it kind of got like overshadowed.
Beat up.
Yeah. I love that Skeletor. I mean, that I love that. That almost has that loyal subjects look, that little legs, big body kind of feel to him. I like that.
And then like Trapjaw was pretty sick. Everyone loves Trapjaw, and he's pretty.
Dude,
So, like, his-
I love that look. Oh, it's sick.
Yeah.
'Cause
So
that,
like,
that jaw with like the trap on it.
so here's normal.
That doesn't work. That's
So this is what he looks like. This is what he looks
Yeah,
like normal.
Martian Manhunter before he
And then what happens is that then he gets the upgrade, and then so once he gets upgrade, he becomes like Trapjaw. So you could see the upgrades there. Like it's hard to see, but like where's like a good and
I'm
like
gonna have to sit down with these.
Oh, and Triclops is this weird thing. Triclops is actually armor. He's not a human. So it's this thing that goes and jumps on you, and it's the helmet, and it turns you into itself. Like it needs a human host.
Okay.
Again, it's just a bit skewed, right? Like
right,
like the Caldanes from John Carter.
I don't remember.
They're in the later books.
They're in the later books. Okay, so I don't know
okay.
those.
To answer the Angry Gamer, not only so they come out with a character called Fisto, and then they have Kit Fisto in Star Wars, as if they didn't learn their lesson from that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but before all of that, Big Jim had a character called Torpedo Fist, and if there were, I mean, my Beavis and Butthead friends snicker every time I bring up that character's name. And then when they actually saw one in my display case, they were like, what the hell?
Well, he's called Battle Fist now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he like has like puts the arm. I had him, of course, and I had Stridor.
Yeah. You kind of had to because he didn't come with Stridor, but he was on the box art for Stridor.
Right.
So you had to have Fisto to go on that one. And then Ross, they gave us Stridor. We had to get Night Stalker. And so we got an evil version of Stridor. Yeah, there you go.
Well, if you had Baron Kars's
and it had
horse,
Jitsu.
If you had
Jitsu
Baron
was
Kars's
the
horse,
reverse.
you had to get
Fisto.
Andromeda. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, so Jitsu versus Fisto, you can see they're not the same toy, but like
no, but they had a similar power. They had a special hand, so you had the larger size. So Jitsu and Fisto were kind of like nemesis in play. Yeah, my OG Al Leong. That's who that will always.
It is. It's literally Al. I know.
Al Leong. Period. I bought an extra Origin Jitsu so I can make my own Al Leong.
Wow.
I will do it.
They went and took the Jew out of Jitsu. Sounds kind of anti-Semitic to me. No, does the B character, does he speak Spanish?
No,
he's not from The Simpsons. He doesn't speak Spanish. Buzz-Off was cool. Now he got really badass looking in 2000X.
Oh yeah,
look at that.
Like they really like stylized. Yeah, that's so much better.
See, even I have to respect that. That's pretty good.
Yeah. But every kid ended up with him, and he was a flying character, which you needed with Stratos.
Right.
So I liked playing with my, Buzz-Off. It was a cool
you started getting really crazy. The thing with
Mondo,
the names are still like really hard to get behind.
Well, in the 2000, but then later on though, they gave them proper names, and then it incorporated more of what they are. So like
maybe a lore of them all.
Yeah. And like, see, the thing with He-Man is that you can
like that or what?
You can redesign the He-Man toys. They're such perfect designs for toys and for what they are that they can be redesigned and made better and look cooler and work again. It's very easy. The 2000X retooled it just a little bit, kept the color scheme, the basic premise of it. See, again, and I just to again for the He-Man fans, it's like we're not looking. They keep thinking that all these fans, Star Wars, He-Man, Transformers, they keep thinking, well, you just want the no. 2000X were like, that was awesome. Redesigned everybody. Yeah, but if you lined up the entire 2000X characters, every villain, every hero, you'll sit there and be like, Fisto, Buzz-Off, Jitsu, Merman, Trapjaw. Not X-Men. You're looking at X-Men like, who's that? Oh, that's Jean Grey. How do I know that? Oh, because Famke Janssen's playing Jean Grey. No. How do I just know that anyways? Like, I looked at it. They're all black costumes. Like, who's that? I don't know. It's a woman. It's Famke Janssen. It's right. Anatol. It's Ivanka Anatol. Anatol. No. But hold on, yeah. So I want to be easily. I don't want to think. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I think that might be Metamorpho. No, it might not be. I don't know. Is that Metamorpho? It could be. It's like it should look like Metamorpho. Like it should be like that should be him. Like if I have to think about who it might be and then ask my friends, yo, did you see that trailer? Who is that guy at the 4-minute mark? Oh, I think that was Fisto. Oh no, that was Stinkor. Oh. No, I should be instantaneously know who that is immediately. Right. Yeah. That's it.
Which is fair.
Comics are a visual medium. I know.
But let me ask you this, though. Now, I'm a total noob, and I'm sorry if it's a waste of time for everybody else in the chat. Toy lines aside, how many He-Man or Masters of the Universe shows were there? There was like, obviously, the first Filmation one.
So Filmation, He-Man, She-Ra.
Yeah,
New Adventures.
Okay, well,
2000X.
Wait. Can you describe?
Netflix. Hold on. Netflix He-Man. There's two of those. There's Netflix She-Ra, and then there's CGI He-Man. So
can you describe so CGI He-Man is the latest one?
Yes, 3 seasons. It's done.
And you guys like that one?
Well, I liked it. They didn't watch. I don't know, Sean. Did you watch it or no?
I liked it. It was good. It's its own thing.
It's its own thing.
The Netflix thing that came before that, that's the one with Kevin Smith that everybody.
I hated
Right.
it.
Okay.
Hated
And
the
then-
story, but looked cool.
Yes.
Okay. And then the one before Kevin Smith, that was like the one where all the characters look badass, and I said
200.
That, and now there's not one person alive that doesn't think that's the damn best thing ever.
So that's the best of all of them. Is that
Yes, because it's not cheesy. It looks like
Yeah.
the old cartoon, just cooler looking characters, and they made Adam young. They made him young, so when he says He-Man, he becomes a big, huge. They did Captain Marvel, Shazam. They did the
Yeah, they did
Shazam
the
thing.
Shazam thing.
So
with him.
so the king doesn't know that that's the son. The biggest problem of He-Man to get over, because I love Superman, I can get over Clark and Superman no problem. I've accepted He-Man. It's literally the same guy with a different, just naked, and you're like, how can you not tell that's him? Even She-Ra was slightly better, but like He-Man was. So you have to address that if you want to make a live action thing, because it can't
the
just be
big
like.
shirt and the lavender pants is really distracting. Like I don't know.
You're
So keep
not
looking
wrong.
at them.
You're very not wrong about
I'd be like,
No, but the 2000X one fixed it, and after the 2000X, everyone went with that.
Yeah.
With the younger version, like even the CGI one, he's younger.
You had
can't
to have
tell.
a different looking Prince Adam. But again, it's Filmation. I don't want to draw something else different. Let's just reuse He-Man and color him differently. You know, that's
Right.
same with the toy. We can have a Prince Adam, but it has to be the same muscles as He-Man, just paint him differently.
Yeah, like,
throw a cloth shirt on him and a belt. That was what came with the
the
Prince
cloth
Adam.
shirt hid the muscularity.
Yeah, it will cover up the all this.
Yeah. Yeah, no, why aren't you guys in the same? It's like Snuffleupagus or whatever. No, 2000X, we all sat there and none of us knew each other almost in this.
No.
So we're sitting there like, well, this is the greatest thing ever. I'm like, it's all the He-Man characters I love, easily recognizable, redesigned but cooler. They're not the same mold because there's only two body types. There's the Beastman body type and the He-Man body type. And there's only two kinds of arms. There's Beastman's arms, Skeletor's arms. No, there's He-Man arms, Skeletor's arms, and Stinkor arms. Yeah, that's bad. Look at Hordak. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great.
The 200X Hordak.
Yeah, you should. I've got almost the entire collection of 2000X. I don't think I hardly missed any of those.
Yeah.
Now that, and Beastman's a huge guy. Like it's like a huge beast guy. It's not just Stratos and Beastman are the same. You know, Stratos is awesome. His wings are cool. Anyways, that's all when we saw that, we're like, oh, perfect. Now, if you want to make a live action movie, just make that.
Yeah.
Right.
Just make that. Don't
We
even.
would all be happy with a live
But
action
since
200X.
then, they've shit the bed with the Kevin Smith one and the other stuff.
Because the story, it's a woke trash. Let's face facts. It's a woke trash nightmare. That's what it is.
I've
it has
read
nothing to do with the
critical
He-Man
reviews,
story.
so I know what the woke trash.
Yeah, He-Man gets killed, and it's all about Teela and her story arc. And
all
you're like,
hot takes.
it's all hot takes. Evelyn's like, oh, Skeletor treated me poorly because I'm a woman. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, when did that happen? Like,
When-
you're just inserting stuff that doesn't fit the overall story.
And the old cartoon from the mid '80s, Evelyn was always undermining Skeletor. They even got that in the Gary Goddard movie. They got it into the movie. At the end, she's like, yeah, let's just go. It's like, whoa. She's like, but surely you won't leave with Skeletor. Okay. And like, Cord trying to talk back. He's like, okay.
Peace out.
And she takes off on him because she's like, F this. Skeletor's losing him out of here. And then they said that Evelyn, she was treated poorly. Like, firstly, he treated everyone poorly. Skeletor is an equal opportunity treating you poorly person. He's very equal. Everyone
getting into
Beastman's always falling in a pit.
Yeah.
He literally treats Beastman like garbage. Even
Everyone's
in the movie.
a boob.
And he's a and look, so Ross, you saw the movie a bunch of times. So he kills Zerod. He messed up. He's like, I'm not in the forgiving vein or whatever he says, right? Or nails the guy. So that's how he was in now in the cartoon. He wouldn't have killed them, but they throw him in a pit or something stupid, right? So they always fail because they always fail. And it's like, Beastman, you moron, you boob. And then Beastman, oh no, Skeletor. And then Beastman will be, oh, got that Skeletor. He's rare. And then, he's like, what was that you said? Oh, nothing, Skeletor. Like,
so I think you played that scenario a few times in your life with your toys.
Probably, yeah. Beastman, boob. The best thing is that kids were writing in asking for Skeletor to win.
Wow.
Because
Lou Scheimer said that. Yeah.
He would, because Skeletor wasn't that bad. He didn't actually do anything that bad.
No, he
Because
didn't.
He-Man would always
No.
win, right? So
No.
he was more just like an
Skeletor
annoyance.
won by being an internet meme now.
You know, he's a meme, yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Skeletor is the best. It's
my
like
favorite meme.
and they're like, can we let Skeletor win? You're like, wait, Skeletor can't win. It's like, I know, but they felt bad for him.
And he
But when-
he was a beloved character on Robot Chicken too. So.
Yeah. The Robot Chicken. I like when it's they're trying to find a parking spot.
Oh,
And it,
All of the villains are
all
in
the
the bar.
villains. That was the funniest.
Dude.
And then he's like, oh, I've got a teleporter. He's like, oh, why do you then sit with us every time? And he's like, oh, and then he teleports away. He's like,
Where's
shit,
your
he did have a teleporter. He
I
really did have one.
The Molar. I've got the Molar.
I got the Molar. I got it.
I love- oh my God.
Yeah, getting his tooth taken out.
You get a head that has a tooth missing, and it's the classics Skeletor, but he's missing a tooth.
Yeah, and the thing with the thing with the what's his face Kevin Smith one was that it got leaked that it was going to be kind of a woke nightmare with the women being taken charge or being so, and then to stop the backlash, he came out and said no, it's a direct continuation from the old cartoon. And then they showed the trailer, which looked like this is one of these, like, I don't do show reaction videos, but like it'd be like, oh fuck,
Yeah,
and
it
then I'm
was
thinking,
amazing.
I'm like, oh my God, He-Man, we're back, baby. And then I'm going around, it's like, okay, let's get the He-Man toys out. This is gonna be sick. And then I watch, it's like, He-Man gets killed immediately. Tila did the "you lied to me." One of my top worst things is the "you lied to me." Oh, you lied to me. You didn't tell me you were He-Man. Oh, I'm sorry. Remember when I saved you 132 times in the old cartoon because there's 132 episodes, and in some of those episodes he probably saved them twice. It's like, remember when I saved the universe 132 times? Like,
if you were too dumb not to guess that, I think that says more about you than him lying about.
That's true. And no, so she cried and then she leaves and she's like, oh, I'm leaving the military. This is while they're being attacked by Skeletor.
She cries like a girl because she's a girl.
She cries like a little bitch.
It's not very responsible, but sure.
Right, runs away. Remember, this is not new. This is continuing from the old show, but Tila was super badass. Even in this thing that you just watched, you see she immediately goes to fight. It's like, so why is she trash now? And Evelyn, who was super awesome and always undercutting Skeletor, she's like, oh, Skeletor treated me like crap. I'm like, this show sucked. But again, if you put it on mute, like Scaregirl looked awesome. Like every character looked, and the toys were awesome. But out of principle, I didn't want, and I wanted, there's a few I had in my hand. I was like, I'm going to buy this. I was like, no, be strong. Don't support this. Yeah. Make sure you pre-ordered it on Blu-ray though, anyways. But
well,
I did pre-order them, but anyways, I'm a human. Yeah, it's
secondary market.
No, I don't mind if he had come out. Now, if he had come out and said this is going to be not for the old fogies, this is going to be the new He-Man, then I would have known it would have been garbage, and I wouldn't have wasted my time. But he didn't say that. He lied. And that's why Kevin Smith is trash. Don't lie to me. The CGI Netflix show said this. They showed the trailer. I was like, whoa, that's not really He-Man. They're like, it's completely different. It's for little kids, so it's CGI. It has to have, every character has to have a young version of themselves before they become a big version. So Duncan has to be goofy, and I'm the tech guy, but I'm a bit goofy. And Sorceress is like, ooh, I'm the plucky girl who's going out there and going on adventures, right? And then when they become the hero versions, it's like they become the more sophisticated, like Adam becomes He-Man, and it's like, oh, I'm trying to protect my cats, and oh, we're best friends, and all this kind of crap. Okay, that's today's Pixar. They Pixar'd it,
yeah.
But then I said, okay, hold on a second. It's like Judge Dredd. I turned the dial. Oh, what is this? What we're watching Pixar? Right? Okay. Oh, I like this. It was a lot of fun. That's it. Then I can turn it back to
you for.
I also call bullshit on that though, because like, with Thundar, we didn't need that. We didn't need like little Thundar and little Ookla and all that other kind of stuff.
I know, but that's what it is.
They just went right, and even more so than He-Man, they just went right for. There was little about Thundar that would not have been out of place in a adult fantasy novel from the early 80s.
Yeah. Right. But see, Thundar doesn't have the $6 billion toy and mega franchise. Thundar now is this is the other thing. There's like a fine line, and Mattel knew how to work it. It's like He-Man is a super massive mega property. My wife is from India. She grew up in India. She's like, oh, I know He-Man.
Yeah, of course.
She's like, by the power of Grayskull. She's like, she knew it. I was like, oh, I love He-Man. She's like, oh, like by the power of Grayskull. I was like, what? She's like, oh yeah, we had that in India.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have Thundar. I love
No.
Thundar. It's 10 out of 10. It's Jack Kirby, the king of everything, the best creator of all time, more than George Lucas. I would put Jack Kirby above George Lucas. Like one of the best creators. It's not He-Man's He-Man.
Yeah,
everybody knows it.
I get it. But that doesn't mean I'm going to hold the better version closer to my chest.
But you haven't seen 2000. But you haven't watched He-Man 2000X. When he put Too Bad together, there were two bounty hunters.
Yes.
And he's like, okay, I want you two bounty hunters to get He-Man, and they kept trying to hurt each other, kept one-upping each other. They fight. And he's like, you two didn't work together. Now I'm going to force you to work together. And then he's like going to cast a spell, and I'm like, no, don't. And it's like, he goes, don't put us together. He's like, Too Bad, and that's why they're called Too Bad.
One of them, the one's name was Tuvar, and the other one had bad in his name somewhere.
Yeah, and Skeletor made fun of that and said Too Bad, and then
what Ross just said though, the biggest issue now is you had your Thundar, then our people were creative enough later to create He-Man. The problem now is no one's creative enough to create the next big thing. It's true. Now, well, we'll just make more of this. It was popular before. Let's go again. No, now do something else.
Everything that's like on the stores shelves at Target are like decades old franchises.
Yes, nothing is new.
And that, even though I said like,
I
when I was a kid,
for that Fright Zone. That Fright Zone is going to be sick.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, there was always like, 10-year-old cartoons on, or 10-plus-year-old cartoons on somewhere Saturday morning after school, UHF. Yeah. But those toys were never on the shelves. Like I had to get Bullet Man, the Human Bullet from G.I. Joe, and pretend that was Ultraman. Yeah, because you couldn't find Ultraman toys on American shelves. But now you go to Target, every mass market place you go, Walmart, whatever, it's like the only thing on the shelves are decades old franchises, and usually it's dad buying it for himself anyway.
That's exactly what it is. My kids don't go to the toy aisle anymore.
No, kids just
I go to the toy aisle.
Yep.
Yeah,
that is true.
That's 100% it.
Yeah.
All right, boys, we got to go. Really quick, like under a minute each. Sean, what you got going on?
I've got Transformers UK up on my channel. I've got Marvel 2-in-1. I've got Batman comic on there as well. I've got Modern Comic Reviews coming this week, and another 2-in-1 at the end of the week.
Awesome. Charlie, what's coming up?
Tuesday, we cover Lara Croft, Tomb Raider with Angelina Jolie, man.
Love both of them.
The good one. So, look for that one. It's the month of Anna, so it's one of her favorite action movies. So,
awesome.
It fits.
Ross, you got anything?
Yeah, I sent you a link for the Antarctic Press Shopify store and on Messenger, and there you can get all 4 issues of Your Hunter from the Future, which I brought to AP and translated, Jungle Comics, which I edited, and Sean did a fantastic review of, and Bikini Sentai G-Rangers, which is a mashup of Baywatch and the Power Rangers, which I wrote. So there's a bunch of my crap on there. So
awesome. I don't have that. I don't have the link. You want to read it?
I think it's the one just between us, not the group link.
Oh.
And
no, are you talking about me and Sean behind our back? What I'm saying.
Send it again, and I'll put it on the other ones. Drop Charlie's link. Yeah, I'll get you Charlie's link right now. Hold on a second. So this is for his podcast, and then you can get it from. I guess it's on all that stuff. A podcast. It's called Podcast on iPhone. That's what I have it on.
Yeah, it's on Spotify. It's on Apple. It's anywhere. We've been going we're in our 5th year, so you can find us.
Oops, wow. I posted it as Sean. I don't know why I posted it as Sean. That's weird.
Thank you, Sean.
Ross, I don't have anything from you from Facebook Messenger.
Yeah.
No.
Mine's acting kind of slow, but let's see if I can do this quickly. So you know what? I foolishly did not think we would be able to talk about He-Man for this long. But that's not
I could talk about He-Man, and that'd be the only thing on my channel.
We're
This is-
stopping
this-
ourselves. We barely talked about the movie we were supposed to cover. We got so far into He-Man.
So on the other podcast I do, they actually have a bell for when I mention Micronauts. It's just kind of like,
Yeah,
okay, it's been 10 minutes. You can't.
We do that for James Bond and Star Wars on the Action Elite. How
yeah.
long it takes us to get to referencing those movies.
Oh man, that's I gotta. It's strictly a time thing because if I had another 3 hours in my life for another podcast, that'd be the one I'd get into.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us tomorrow. Sean and I, the last episode of Legion live stream. Steven, did you get it to me?
Yeah.
Okay, you got it. Let me. I'll post that really quickly in here.
Drop it quick.
I'll drop it quick in the chat.
Drop it like it's hot.
There. Now it's from me instead of from Sean. That was weird. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. Hopefully tomorrow Legion live stream. That's gonna be awesome. Last episode. So, all right, guys. Thanks for watching. Until next time.
Hey friends, you've just been listening to J-Man, and he is the smartest person who ever lived. So make sure you like and subscribe.